Now the home of The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon. KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Oh, it's Windy Wednesdays on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Cappy, one of my favorite songs of all time, when they got together and sang All for Love, man. From the Three Musketeers soundtrack. Remember the Three Musketeers?
Yes.
That's kind of like you, me, and Sedano, but when Brian Windhorst is here, my Columbo brother,
right,
it becomes Windy, Cappy, and Sedano, which I'm okay with.
You are?
They are the Three Musketeers on Wednesdays. Good morning, Brian Windhorst.
Where would Brian Windhorst be in line at your wedding to dance with you?
To this song, Morales. I want to dance with you to this song.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. We won't look each other in the eye.
It's Windy Wednesdays.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on the air.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history.
Don't the Rams say bleep them picks?
Yes.
That was a long time ago. Different now. Now they're good at the picks.
Yeah, but didn't they do that and win the Super Bowl?
They did.
This is a bleep them picks trade.
Yeah, what was it?
Horn-chins.
Yeah,
Horn-chin.
Sedano is a guy who's like, hey, I've been around the NBA 20 years. I can draw plays up on the board. I can do
God.
What do you mean, oh, God? What do you mean?
A little sabor.
Yeah, I don't think people like being called hacks.
You're the widow on the radio.
Giant Mexican, horn section.
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
Give me a freaking break.
I'm reacting to Art Bell.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Do you want to do the Love Boat, or do you want me to do the Love Boat?
The Art, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, here it is. Ready? Watch this. Watch this.
It's Windy Wednesdays.
Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, you want to
Bit boy.
Monstrous.
Beto, I don't want to eat that. We did it, Dad. We did it.
You were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time. So,
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
It's Windy Wednesdays on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Oh, just one more thing.
Ninth pitch, Pages. Slams one to right center field. Tatis back, makes the catch. Here comes Cole. Here's the throw. Relay to the plate. Not in time. Dodgers take the lead.
Oh, yes, indeed. 7:02 and 50 seconds. Good morning. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on this windy Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2026. How about those Dodgers and Alex Call? He was safe, by the way. Stinking Padres challenge it.
yeah, you got to challenge it. Why would you not challenge it? Of course you challenge it.
Scumbag Padre fans.
Oh, really? Really, the scumbags? Because their manager challenged?
Dodgers win. Dodgers win and beat the Padres.
The Dodgers.
What a game. Cappy and I were watching that game as we were doing one of the most disgusting acts ever, and we can't even talk about it. George Sedano, we can't talk about
George, I will not disclose this on the air. Okay. It was bad. It was ugly.
I woke up this morning, I looked at myself in the mirror, and a tear rolled down my cheek.
Yeah, I'm still hurting terribly.
Wow.
Forgot to take my medication as a result of what we did. I mean, I could be in big trouble today. Big trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sound really low, George.
I sound low?
Yeah, now you're a little bit better there.
Oh, okay.
Low.
Yeah, are you in a hotel where you don't want to get too loud because they're going to get it on in the room next to you or something?
No, I'm in the hotel that the Spurs are staying.
Oh.
So what, do you not want to wake up Wemby?
Definitely. I don't know.
He's his beauty sleep.
Yeah.
Listen, he's got the monks in there. Right?
Somebody is definitely next door, though. Like you could hear someone talking a little earlier when I got up this morning, and it's definitely someone Spurs related.
Okay, so but are you going to talk low because you don't want them to hear like industry secrets of what you're doing right now?
I mean,
or are you just being considerate?
I'm trying to be considerate to some extent.
Yeah, but you heard them.
You should yell.
Yeah,
and
I guess
like,
they may not even be in there right now at
you
this
should be
point.
like, the Spurs stink really loud just to see if they get a reaction. You know?
Wemby's a bust.
The beds, like, do they bring him like an extra extension to his bed?
They do. I actually read that somewhere. He brings a bed extension with him everywhere.
A
so
bed
does
he
Shohei.
has to.
Really?
Shohei does too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else does?
Shohei. Shohei brings an actual bed.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I did read that.
Whole special bed.
On the road, everywhere he goes, they
Yes.
bring Ohtani a special bed.
Yes.
They don't do that for Freddie. They don't do that for
just
Mookie.
Ohtani.
This is an Ohtani move by himself.
Freddie gets a special little tray for his teeth, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. They put that next to
Like
the
my
bed.
grandma had.
Hey,
Really?
Sedano, do you think you know the person in the other room over there?
I don't. I mean, I can hear a voice.
So
but.
Carlo just told me, and I think he's the right thing to do here. Go and try to airdrop somebody to something, and who comes up.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Just for the goof of it all, why not?
Right. You don't actually have to say it on, on the
Sedano's
air if you
thinking
don't
about
want to,
this. Like,
but-
normally, you know how George would be like, I'm not doing that. Let's move on.
I did think about it.
No,
for a
you
second.
actually, I could just see your eyes thinking about, maybe I should do this.
What if it's Wemby? And you
No, it's not him.
Oh, you don't have his
He
number?
gets,
not
he
him.
gets
Do you
a
have his
whole
number?
floor.
Yeah, I mean, he would. I mean, this would be the floor that he'd probably be on.
So you're in the suite.
Ooh.
The Sedano
Well, no,
suite.
I am not in a suite. I'm in a regular king room. But like they,
Hey, King.
there are exactly. They are definitely suites on this floor for sure.
Do you have any glasses in the room? Like a water glass you could hold up to the wall?
You want to go old school, huh? Really old
Those
school
work.
investigation kind of a
works,
deal?
yeah.
Put a glass up to the wall.
Dude,
I
so
don't
who's
know
on
if
the
someone's
airdrop?
actually in the room next door yet anymore, but there was somebody earlier when I woke up this morning about an hour ago.
Were
So,
they talking about like Horn's Chin or something that you could hear them talking about plays, and that's why you know it's a Spurs guy?
I could hear something about like scheduling is what I heard. Yes, something about scheduling.
Oh, really? Maybe you have the
Not-
traveling
not like
secretary
schematics.
next door. You know, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a coach. Who knows?
Yeah.
By the way, before we get too deep, I do want to welcome to the show today producer Michael Funches, who's helping me out. As we know,
hey, Funchy.
Jorge Briones is out on leave with some family stuff. So Funch Lover is here early in the morning in an amazing Jordan 45 jersey.
And those beautiful brand new Jordans that he's
Thank
rocking
you
on,
very
on
much.
his feet.
I know I'm wearing the 4-5 because I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here.
Yeah. This guy.
Summer of Funch has started.
Oh, my
already.
God. What an embarrassment, honestly. No, you should be ashamed.
Well,
of
no.
yourself.
Let's save it. Let's
Yeah.
save it.
I mean,
Let's save
I'll just tease it by saying you should be ashamed of yourself.
You
Love
should
you
be.
too.
You should.
Both you guys.
No, I love you.
Yes.
In fact, George, when I came in this morning, Funchy and I see each other, and it's like we just showed up at like, I don't know. We just start going, oh,
Yes, we haven't seen each other in years.
oh, dear, come back. Oh, God. Yeah.
Lindsay got jealous.
Right, and
You're
so
like
we're-
those two babies running at each other when they're like happy, wanting to give each other
Yeah.
a
Right,
hug.
and we're hugging
Yes.
it out, man, and we're like
Yes.
screaming at each other. Yeah, I love you, dog. I love you. You know, like one of those kinds of deals. And Lindsay's like, Cap, how come you never embrace me like that when in the morning? And she goes, I guess you don't have that kind of love for me. I'm like,
No
no,
love.
Linz, I think it's the other way around. Like,
No
I would
love.
love it if I walked in and Lindsay was like, oh, Cap, what's up, my boy? Oh, what's up, my boy?
Well,
You
let's
know?
not worry about things that'll never happen. So.
Yeah.
On God.
For real.
Well, look, Lindsay's probably not in a great mood today.
Nope.
Yeah.
Should be
And let me
terrible.
tell you something.
Mm.
So I was watching this game last night, and I mean, maybe Lindsay, you've seen something on social media or on the ESPN research page or whatever, but that is arguably the biggest melt I've ever seen in any game.
Well,
in
George,
a
There's
playoff
no
game.
argument. No argument.
Well,
it is.
with 8 minutes to go, you know they have these like
7 minutes and 30 seconds, they had a 22-point lead.
Just so you guys know, I went to sleep when they got the 22-point lead.
we know that because we
right. Oh,
well,
no,
when I-
there was no text.
Yeah, when I
Right,
woke up
yes.
this morning at 5:30 a.m., there was a text from you at like whatever time it was because I knew that you had gotten up and watched the rest of the game. But here's the thing: at about 8 minutes and change to go in the game, you know the stats that they say, hey, this team is now 92% chance to win this game based on the score and the time.
Yep.
That was Cleveland. And I don't remember the exact
was
number.
99.9.
Oh, see, 99. But they had a 99.9 chance to win the game with 8 minutes going. And I will be honest with you, at that point in the game, with Cleveland, who, listen, the Knicks had a lead early. Cleveland made this 10-0 run. This is well before halftime. Cleveland's in control of this
They
game.
dominated the whole game until the fourth quarter.
And I'm sitting there, and I was actually on the phone with two friends at the time, and we're all sitting there talking about this game is so boring because it's not competitive compared to what was going on the night before. And then at the 7:30 mark,
it just went
crazy.
And it flipped on its side.
It went haywire, and I never could have seen it coming.
Yeah, I look, even my wife texted me yesterday and was going like, "Oh my God, this game has just become insane." And I was just like, "Yep."
What happened?
And I was.
What happened is
they couldn't hit a shot. Well, here, if we're being honest, they went into like the equivalent of an NFL team going into like prevent defense.
Right. Play
like,
not to lose.
Prevent offense is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
They started trying to take the air out of the ball. They started like trying to just dribble down the clock and taking poor shots at the end of the shot clock. And as it was happening with about 7 minutes to go, I'm going, oh boy, this is not the way to do it. Like you have built this lead by attacking, right? Why aren't you attacking? And I feel bad because I thought Mitchell played a really good game to that point. And then all of a sudden, he's like at the rim, like no question. Like I think the lead had dwindled down to like 15 or 16 at this point. And he gets to the rim, and then he kicks it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just take the layup. Like, why are you doing this? Like, you have a 16-point lead. So I was, like, stunned. And that's when I knew, like, oh, boy. And then Harden was they were just
so bad.
Oh, dude.
I mean, we tried to tell you.
Well, I agreed. I said, never. I just don't get me started.
Listen,
I could taste it. I could smell the lead. I mean, I could smell the wind. It was there. We had it. I thought it was there.
They just picked on him defensively over and over and over. I mean, Mike Brown said it in the postgame. Like, he didn't even, like, hide it.
Yeah.
Like, most coaches will just, like, won't actually come out and say it. Mike Brown actually said it. He said, yep, we were going after Harden. And I was like, okay, Mike. Like, yeah, you were. And it was brutal. Like, brutal to watch. It was an unraveling. And Kenny Atkinson, who I like a lot, man, I mean, you waited a long time to call a timeout, man. This thing was an avalanche, or as the Cavs like to say, a cavalanche, but it was the cavalanche on them. Mm-hmm. And Kenny Atkinson just sat there, and then his post-game press conference. Do we have the audio of what he said about his timeouts or no?
Yes.
Yeah, let me hear this. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I like to hold my timeouts. I mean, I didn't want to have one timeout at the end of the game, 1 or 2 point game. I try to hold them.
Yeah, but you didn't have – you could have still used one. Like, before that, I understand you want to keep at least one, but you would have had 1 or 2 left for later in the game had you just called one at the, 4-minute mark or 5-minute mark. You're going to have a use it or lose it timeout anyway at 3 minutes. So I didn't understand that at all. It was just as big a meltdown, Cap, as I've ever seen in a playoff game. Because, yeah, I've seen teams like, we've seen it recently, right, where teams have come back, down 6 points or whatever, like the Lakers did against the Rockets in 30 seconds. I mean, Philly did it, or the Knicks did it to Philly just a couple years ago. We've seen those. But 22 points? I mean, this game was over, man. Like, it was legit over.
It was, not only was it over, but, I mean, it was at a point where the game with about 7:30 to go, this is before the big run started. And, by the way, not only did that run happen, but there's another number. What was it? The final scoring, the Knicks outscored the Cavs, I think it was 44-11 when you consider from 7:30 in the fourth quarter and through the overtime period.
Overtime.
44-11.
Yeah.
That's like a bunch of kids playing ball, that are 7 years old at the local, YMCA, and you go, hey, did you guys win? Yeah, 44-11. I mean, that is like an insane number to hear in an NBA basketball game. And you would just think from a Kenny Atkinson standpoint, he knows Mike Brown. I mean, when you talk about two coaches going head-to-head, yes, you'll watch what happened on the floor, and you'll see the Knicks hit a bunch of shots and hit a bunch of threes, and the crowd come to life, and the arena just feeling like the building's going to blow the roof right off the top. But Kenny Atkinson and Mike Brown, these guys coached together, won a championship together when they were at Golden State.
He's a terrible coach.
I'm just all I'm saying is that these two guys know each other. So if they coach together and they work together and they won a championship together as assistants with Golden State, you would think that Kenny Atkinson would say, what is Mike Brown coaching right now? Like, what is his strategy at this moment? And the strategy looked very simple for even a novice to look at and go, see that guy right there with the big beard? They're just picking on that guy. And they did nothing, or so it seemed.
Here's the stat, man. I mean, this is a miracle stat, okay? Like, the Knicks won a miracle game, okay, against the Cavs. Entering Tuesday, teams were 0-663 when trailing by 20 or more points in the final 7 minutes of the fourth quarter of a playoff game in the last 30 postseasons.
Wow.
Now they're one.
So now has never happened before.
Hey,
what we saw
time for
last
everything,
night,
right?
we've never seen that before. And Chris, I'm a little, if I'm being honest, I know it's only 7:15 in the morning. I'm slightly disappointed. It could be that you're still disgusted by what happened last night.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised the choke sound.
Where's the choke, bro?
You do this for Josh Allen.
I mean, it's game one of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah,
Also,
but did you just hear in 663 NBA games?
Charles Barkley called it a choke in the postgame.
Absolutely. Total choke.
I was more overwhelmed about the Dodgers win at this point. That's all.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
I
all.
understand.
But since we're talking
we'll get
about
to the
this,
Dodgers, but I mean, this is literally unprecedented.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cavs suck, so that's not new news.
Cavs suck.
I mean, I don't know if they suck. I mean, they're in the conference finals.
They'll be better next year when LeBron's playing for them.
Probably.
right.
16 minutes through the show. You know what you could have done in these 16 minutes? Well, if you're Funch Lover, who's sitting to my left, you could have put on a classic Jordan 45 jersey. Never had a choke like this in the playoffs. But you could have also gone to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and coupons near you. Also, didn't think he ever got swept in the first round. But listen, who wants to get into minutia?
By the way,
it's okay. We can move on now. It's all out of the system. We got to move on.
Speaking of
No one
Valvoline,
cares.
real quick, I got ripped yesterday.
Oh, no. Why?
Because I made the comment that I go to Valvoline like every 3,000 miles, 3,500 miles or so. And people are on Twitter going, bro, it's synthetic oil. You can go 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, when you said 3,000 miles on synthetic, that seemed odd.
But they got me, because that little sticker in the upper left corner.
Yeah, but they shouldn't put 3,000 miles. It's 5,000 miles.
Well,
they put
whatever
up there.
the number is, I'm just very
Well, no, now you're trying to
conscientious.
blame Valvoline. It's not Valvoline's
No,
fault.
it's not Valvoline's fault. It's my fault.
By the way, I'm not wearing my Valvoline hat when we do this.
Yeah, I'm paranoid when it comes to make my oil change. My car is kind of older now, and it's got 109,000 miles.
By the way,
on it.
get this, Sedano. You'll enjoy this. So we're sitting at the Knicks Lounge, and we're doing something obscene while we're watching the Dodgers game. Not obscene in a bad way, just food-wise.
But it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us. And he starts going, hey, so you got that George Chevy endorsement, huh? And I already know what's coming. I go, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to steal that one from you.
He goes, so I got to get my daughter a car.
Yeah. Well, thinking EVs.
What do you think? What does Stephanie drive again? I go,
Yeah.
the Traverse. Is that an EV? I go, no, it's gas. Oh, what do you think she paid for that? So I tell her.
Yeah.
Tell him, and he's like, I go, well, they can get the Equinox about $10,000 less. He then is sending pictures of the Equinox.
Yeah, to my
and I'm like,
daughter.
so do you have to pay for this car? He's like, well, I have to pay for it for a few months. I'm like,
Well-
oh, geez, man.
Well, I'm trying to work a deal. My daughter said, can't Uncle George take me to the Cadillac dealership of Beverly Hills? And I'm like, no, Uncle George is not getting you a Cadillac because you have to work hard and earn money and gain some success, and then maybe you drive a Cadillac. But Uncle George is not helping you get a Cadillac because you just graduated from college. Now, he offered to help, which was nice. So Uncle Chrissy, on the other hand, might help with an EV from Chevy, perhaps. So,
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And then he started giving me the business.
Because this is still under your payroll, probably.
Oh, well, that's just it.
He tried to break it out to me, and that he's finally going to make his son pay rent starting next month. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I got it.
You thought he said "screw you, Dad" earlier before.
I got to get these kids off into adulthood. You know what I mean? I got to get. And so I fear with my son, who I've been trying to help save money for the last year and a half, if I start charging him rent, he'll start to feel the pain of what it is to have to pay rent, and then maybe he'll either A, want to move out on his own, or B, get a better or maybe even a second job to make more money. So I don't know. Listen, this is the tough part of parenting.
How high a rent are you going to charge him that he's going to have to take a second job?
He said he's going to get him a G-ball.
Okay.
That's $1,000, basically.
Okay.
G-ball. I've never heard G-ball.
Nobody
Then
here.
they've never sold drugs on the street.
No, well, that's
Bunchy,
true.
you've sold drugs.
Yeah, back in my youth, but
Yeah,
not
me
now.
Quack, quack.
A G-ball, huh?
A G-ball.
Never heard that term before.
Yeah, but his rent is like 11 G-balls, so that doesn't really help anybody.
Well, I'm just trying to force this kid out. Is what
I
I'm
thought it
trying
was
to
called
do.
like a band.
Yeah, band or G. I've never heard G-ball.
G-ball.
Greg, you ever sell drugs on the street?
This is for another story, for another
Chris,
day.
what are we doing, man?
Well, let's get back to Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Or the Dodgers, because let me tell you
Or
something.
we were to get to the Dodgers. And are you going to question our thought process on content? Like, get out of here, okay? Seriously.
I mean, in Los Angeles, yeah, I thought the Dodgers win was exciting.
Yeah, Chris, and we have 3 hours to discuss it.
Did I question it?
You clearly did, so let's move on.
Okay.
All right, hey, here comes a really tight tease.
Oh.
How did Andy Pajes possibly pull off what he pulled off last night?
That and Come hang out with Mason and Ireland show featuring Beto Duran and Marcus Grant. Thursday, May 28th from noon to 3 at Chino City Hall for the Oral Hershiser Chevrolet Grand Opening Celebration. Join Dodgers legend Oral Hershiser, special guests, community leaders, and more for an exciting afternoon celebrating Chino's newest dealership. All thanks to Hershiser Chevrolet. We'll talk Dodgers, more of the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. Game 2 tonight, Spurs Thunder. That's all ahead. 3 minutes from right now on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
Opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
All right, guys, real talk. Are you a crust lover or one of those crust leavers? Because I got to tell you, Pizza Hut's new crispy Parm Pan Pizza is next level. It's the original pan crust you already love, but now they've baked Parmesan cheese right onto the edge. I'm talking crispy, golden, cheesy crunch with that soft, fluffy inside. Grab a medium, one-topping crispy Parm Pan for just $11.99 or go large for $3 more. Order now at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Limited time offer. Additional charges for extra cheese, toppings, and recipes.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Next time you're at my home away from home, LAX, look up. You'll see the future of travel in action. It's the all-electric Skylink train. It's now testing, and trust me, this is a game changer. What does it take to build a champion? It takes round-the-clock preparation. And soon, Skylink will connect you to the airport terminals, the new rental car center, and LA Metro. From practice to prime time, the LAX Skylink. Fast, free, and built for LA. In testing now to help you skip the traffic later.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center, May 23rd and 24th. Biggest show ever!
Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards.
Plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books.
CSA, CGC, and JSA will be there.
So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade,
or get them graded. 770 tables.
Thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it! Front Row Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th, 11 to 5.
For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com.
That's frontrowcardshow.com.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle, all the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL. Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com, because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a windy Wednesday, 7:23 in the morning. And as we begin, George Sedano live from Oklahoma City, we get ready for the Western Conference Finals Game 2. And I would love to know why I'm not hearing Groovin', but oh, there it is. Groovin' by the Young Rascals. Doesn't it feel good? It feels good on this day in 1967, the number one hit. The Young Rascals, Cappy, grooving. We're trying to groove this morning.
Just love the word rascal.
I do like, we should use rascal more.
Yeah. Somebody texted me last night and they said, "Here, are you at this Dodgers-Padres game?" And I said, "No." I said, "Why?" They said, "Oh, my son said he thought he saw you." And I'm like, well, whoever he saw must be one handsome rascal. See, I used the word rascal.
You like the word rascal or patootie better?
I'm more of a
Rascal's
guy.
better.
I'm a rascal guy.
Rascal probably a little better.
I'm a rascal guy. Yeah.
Patootie was a good pull, though.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
It just really just depends on the day, which one's better.
Cappy, couple things that I thought stood out beyond the obvious excitement of the way the Dodgers won. Freddie Freeman had obviously been struggling, and the fact that he kind of had a breakout here is pretty nice. I mean, it's first home run game of the season. That in itself, I believe he was going into this, maybe was it 0 of 14 or 0 of 16 heading into that particular at bat. Andy Pages obviously coming up big. He continues to play well. But I think the thing that has gone unnoticed, and maybe Greg, you can weigh in on this, is the Dodgers bullpen playing the way that they've played. They have been pretty much lights out. I think I saw the stat was 25. Is it 25 consecutive scoreless innings now?
23 consecutive scoreless innings now.
Okay.
Pretty amazing. But what happened last night, though, I just want to say this. When the Padres pull in Mason Miller is now considered, right now anyway,
the best closer in all of baseball.
Best closer in baseball. Guy, they had a bobblehead in San Diego a couple weeks ago where they had Mason Miller throwing this ball, and there's like a flame coming off of his hand, and at the bottom it says like 104 mph. This guy is tall. He's thick. By the way, I don't know if you know his story or not. He was a diabetic kid, and he was a super skinny kid, and it looked like his baseball career was going nowhere at some small college, and then they found out that he was diabetic, got him on the right medication. All of a sudden, he grew into a giant, and now he can throw 104 miles an hour. But when he comes in, it's lights out. It's game over. What happened last night, Max Muncy, that was such an important at-bat, George.
Huge at-bat.
Because Muncy looks like he's getting rung up. And instead, he challenges, and he wins the challenge, and it was a walk. So Muncy gets on base when it looked like he was going to be out, but he challenged, and he gets the walk, and that's when they pinch run for him with Alex Call. What happens after that is Mason Miller has this throwing error. I still blame the first baseman, Todd France. I mean, you got to make that play. But then, the base runner Call starts to advance, and then before you know it, he comes home on the Pages at bat, Bergie. Freddie Freeman said after the game, I was watching the postgame interview, he said, that's like one of the greatest at-bats I've ever seen.
And by the way, he's done that numerous times, I feel like, this year, Greg, where he has just had like these incredible long at-bats that have helped this team. Look, the RBI numbers are what they are. They're fantastic. But he has really come into his own in a way that is impressive considering how well he played last year, but how poor the postseason basically went for him. Mm-hmm. I feel like that could be something that for a young player that could really put them in a rut, and he has bounced back from that in a huge way this season.
In a massive, massive way. He really took time and spent time on I forget what the pitch software is called, but he took a lot of time on that software, learning every single pitcher, and it's really shown this year. To the point that you're right, he does have a lot of those long at bats because he's seeing the ball much better than he ever has, where he's not swinging at pitches so far off the plate like he used to, and he's actually hitting the pitches like sliders and those off-speed pitches extraordinarily well. The thing about Mason Miller, and I thought that he would have had a chance 2 nights ago when Mason Miller came in, because he hits well against high velocity type guys. If you go look at his numbers against Paul Skeens, he's 4 of 6 with a home run and 2 doubles off of Paul Skeens, and people don't have those types of numbers off of Paul Skeens. So when Mason Miller comes in, who's a similar type where he has that type of velocity and power behind it, he can sit in that box and know how and hit the ball well. And when he did it in that at bat, he was fouled off 6 different pitches, and it went back and forth between the fastball and the slider.
Oh, you know what he said?
And by the way, look, the difference between the pitches are just insane, right? Like you're talking about over 100 miles per hour on the fastball, and then the slider coming in at high 80s, right? You know what I mean? Like that is really hard to navigate. To me, we talked about this yesterday or this week earlier. It was yesterday of just about like playing baseball, man. Like being in that batter's box and having to identify what's transpiring there in such a quick amount of time. And look, Dr. Clapper had told us this last year. Remember Max Muncy, right? The glasses. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where, as simple as that, like he needed glasses to be able to see the ball better. Right. It really is insane what these guys are able to do, how quickly they're able to process and be able to then make the adjustment to how they have to swing the bat. It is a marvel. It's the one thing in sports I don't think we talk about enough.
Well, listen, the thing about Pages in this at-bat last night was this. yes, you're right, George. When you see an 87-mile-an-hour, ball that's breaking all over the place, or then you see a 102-mile-an-hour fastball, I was saying to myself, if I'm Mason Miller, because this is 2 nights in a row where he's had a hard time finding the plate, and when he's missing really bad. He got lucky yesterday that the Padres catcher Freddie Fermin made a couple of excellent plays.
One high, one low, and they both could have gotten away and scored call.
Right, easily. Yeah. And the thing is that when you're Pages, and this is what Pages said after the game, he said, my confidence grew as the at-bat went on, and I could see his confidence dwindling as the at-bat went on. And the more pitches he saw, the more he made contact, fouled him off. Pages said, I knew I was going to get to him as the count went on. And actually, when the ball was hit out to right field, I said, okay, this is going to be an interesting play at the plate.
It was going to be tight, and it was tight.
It was, but I was actually surprised, and I'll go back and watch the play again. I was surprised that the cutoff man cut it off and threw it to home but I think the ball was going to be up the line, and that's why he cut it off. Because Tatis, like Mookie Betts, when Mookie played right field, he's very capable of making that throw and getting the guy at home. But as I watched the play again...
Right, so we talked about it on the Blue Review this morning, and then actually Tim and Carlo played it over and over again, and we fully broke it down. So what happens, he's going to throw that ball up the line. It's going to be high up the line, too. It was not going to get the home plate. So the second baseman that caught the ball there? Whoever it was that caught the ball, that was the right play to be a cutoff man there because that was not going to get anywhere close to Fermin.
So that's a bad throw by Tatis because Tatis...
Strong arm. It was on a rope, but it just wasn't... It was up the line.
Right, but you got it just in the end, listen, Freddie Freeman said after the game last night, George, he's like, listen, I made some adjustments in the pregame today. I've been working on a couple of things. He said, I did a little swing change before the game. It's more mechanical, swinging up, trying to get rid of the cut swing. And he said to see instant results was definitely nice. But I think Freddie also, as you pointed out, was in a little bit of a struggle. So he called his dad yesterday and said to his dad, hey, you mind driving down from Orange County to San Diego? Because, I'd really like to have you there, Dad. And Dad is sitting right outside the Dodgers. I don't know how they get him that seat right away.
Yeah.
And then
he's Freddie Freeman. He gets what he wants.
And then even in an opposing ballpark. Yeah. And then Freddie could go over to Dad after hitting his second home run, give Dad a high five. So, listen, even when you're 30-something and you got 4 kids of your own, you still need Dad sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But also...
listen, that bodes well or maybe not so well for you.
Well, yeah, I could be paying for this new Chevy for a long time.
But Sedano, so because they sent Call scored there, it also goes back to the day before when they didn't send Haesung Kim. Mm-hmm. It shows you that if you have to make the right play, you have to make the right call to make them make a throw. Tatis was going away from the play 2 nights ago. Yes, he was going to probably get him out, but the fact was you still have to. I'd rather you be out at home than be stuck at third, right? Mm-hmm. So Call was going to go no matter what because you're not going to score off Mason Miller if you don't go. But the fact was you always have to get out at home if it's going to be in that kind of type of situation.
Yeah. Hey, I know you're going to get to your 3 things in a little bit. Let's take some time to kind of switch gears here for a second. Cap, did you get a chance to watch Sean McVay's appearance on Bussin' with the Boys?
I have seen clips of it. I have not seen the entire thing. But by the way, these guys Bussin' with the Boys, this podcast is like blowing
They're very
up.
popular. Yeah. They're very good.
Mm-hmm.
They're football guys. Yeah, they're your kind of guys, Cappy. They're on Get Up a lot, actually, with Greeny and those guys. They make kind of appearances
Thursdays
during the football season.
On Get Up.
Yes, there you go. Thank you, Christopher. And, they kind of went deep with Sean. Couple things that were discussed. Some of it is kind of old hat, like we've heard the Jared Goff stuff. The stuff about him wanting to quit in 2022. Now, we heard it originally. Like, we know the story, obviously, because he's talked about it numerous times. But he went into an interesting level of detail that I don't think was revealed previously that we can get to. And he finally kind of really got into the Ty Simpson stuff. He's been avoiding Ty Simpson conversations. But he actually got into Ty Simpson in regards to what he liked when he saw him on tape. Where do you want to go? Do you want to start with the revelation about what allowed him to stay coaching in that rut he was in 2022, or do you want to go Ty Simpson right out of the gate?
I will start with the news that is more contemporary. Let's start with the Ty Simpson stuff, but I do want to hear him talk about what was going on back then. And I know that it's kind of ancient history because he's a different guy now. But
there is a new revelation to the story, which I thought was awesome.
Good.
Yeah, but let's start with what he saw in Ty Simpson on tape, Lindsay.
this is a guy that, based on the film and some of the vetting that Les and his group did, you project this guy to, whenever Matthew decides, potentially be a starting caliber quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And you like the body of work because of the way he was asked to play the position. Is it a short sample size? Yeah, it is. But it's easier to evaluate that short sample size because you're evaluating all parts of, all right, hey, in the drop back pass game, you're watching the 3-step, the 5-step, the 7-step, the way the field's distributed, the types of coverage contours he's seeing in the SEC are similar to what he would see. He's reading with his feet with a timing and rhythm. He's redirecting protections. He's getting under center and throwing play actions off 7-step one hitch or 8-step one hitch timing, and anticipating second level in cuts with front pad throws, making a little bit of plays off schedule. And so you're saying, I like this. I like that it wasn't easy. I like that, he had to wait his time in Alabama, and the easy thing, especially nowadays, would have been able to run away. I like that he didn't, they lose to Florida State and the sky is falling and they find a way to be able to kind of have some resolve and they get into the SEC championship. And there's a lot of good things in the midst of it. I like the way that he responded when guys would drop balls and he didn't flinch, or when guys would give up, an immediate free runner and, didn't say a word except for, man, where can I be better? Those were the things that the tape communicated to me.
Yeah. I will tell you this, George. My favorite part of Ty Simpson is what he just talked about. It wasn't his footwork. It wasn't his drops. It wasn't his reaction to guys missing balls. It was really about his patience. I can appreciate a guy in today's world of college football who realizes I've got NFL quarterbacks in front of me, but I want to be here and I want to play for this team and I will wait my time, because in today's day and age of college football, if you're not playing right away, the first thing you're thinking about is transferring. In my day of playing college football, we didn't really consider transferring very much because
you had
we were
to sit
penalized.
out.
Right.
Yeah, you had to sit out.
They would penalize us for transferring. In today's world of college football, you want immediate gratification. You want as much money as you can get as fast as you can get it. And this kid, Ty Simpson, showed commitment to his team, to his program, to his teammates. Now, that may all sound fluffy, and everybody may say that doesn't mean squat. Doesn't mean he's going to be a great player. It just speaks to the personality that the kid is. That's one of the things that I like that McVey just talked about. How about you?
Listen, I love the fact that, and we've talked about this during the draft process after he was drafted. Look, he's the son of a coach. His dad has been at, I believe it's McNeese, for a good amount of time at this point. When you grow up the son of a coach, you grow up being treated a little differently. And I would say most of these guys, and I mean differently in a good way, where he didn't get any preferential treatment, he's probably being coached harder than any of the other guys. And when you talk to people around college football, that is absolutely how it went down with him. So I like that, number one. Number two, this is something else we've discussed at times. This was not a good Alabama team last year by Alabama standards, by Nick Saban Alabama standards. Kalen DeBoer is still in the process of figuring out how to, I guess, construct the team in his image. And this team had what I would say is a mediocre offensive line, which we haven't had in Alabama for a while. They had one offensive lineman, I believe, drafted in the first round. And even that guy, when he was drafted, Caden Proctor, was a guy that there were some questions about, okay? And in his case, it was really questions about motivation, okay? Is he a guy that can stay motivated regularly? Is his motor high enough? So if that's your best offensive lineman, that goes to show you they did not have a very good offensive line. The other way you can tell they didn't have a very good offensive line is it's not like Alabama is struggling to find athletes. They had athletes at running back, and they had no creases to run the football. So when you can't run the football, Cappy, as you know, what ends up happening to the passing game?
Oh, yeah. Well, they're coming for you because they already know they can stop the run. So
Correct.
we might as well, just go after the quarterback.
Right. And then the windows become tighter. Mm-hmm. Things become more challenging. Things get sped up, certainly. And they were able to figure that out. And I did like what Sean referenced, which is they lost to Florida State. The sky was absolutely falling in that game.
Yep.
After that game, there was like, oh, boy, like we were talking about, is Kalen DeBoer going to survive the season at that particular time? And Ty Simpson and company really settled them down.
By the way,
I like
point
that
of information, Dad coaches at University of Tennessee at Martin.
Oh, Tennessee Martin.
Right.
That's
Tennessee
what it is.
Martin.
Yes.
McNeese State, Tennessee Martin. They're all kind of right there.
Yeah. Thank you for the correction.
Oh, hey, my absolute pleasure.
Yeah. And then
Google.
So they
like I knew that.
Wait, we have one more. We have one more. Sean was then asked about Ty Simpson. Why was it so tough a decision to draft him at quarterback at that particular position? Go ahead.
Let's take a listen, Linz. This is the...
Was it an easy decision? No, because, like, how are we always balancing? And I said this before, like, if you told me that we could ensure that if we took a player at 13, let's just say it's a Mekhi Lemon, a Kenyon Sadiq, players that we really had a lot of appreciation for, or even a defensive player, Bain still on the board at the time. If you told me that drafting that guy would have ensured that we're going to show up at SoFi on February 14th next year and get a chance to play for a world title, I say, sign me up. We're taking that guy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way. And so, man, I'm hopeful Matthew plays as long as he can. And I don't take for granted how lucky I am, Will, but you absolutely sit down, you give clarity, and you can talk to him in a different way because of the capacity and the experience he has, and explain the thought process. And again, it's no different than those other conversations. And he handled it exactly like you would want somebody to handle it.
Yeah.
But he also understands. I mean, he's been in this thing, and even if it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly agreed upon, he's like, I get it. Because why? This guy can think from an empathetic perspective too.
Yeah.
He's respectful of the situations and the circumstances that I'm put in and that we're put in as leaders to make those calls. Do I know if it's going to be right? We'll see down the line, but I know what I also am grateful for is having number 9 ready to ride and feeling as good as he does right now.
Yeah.
Listen, the Rams are in a really good position with that particular position. I know that, people think that this is a bad pick. I don't. I think if you give Sean McVey the chance to mold a kid in the way that he will be able to mold this guy over the next couple of years, I actually think that it makes a ton of sense for them to do this, especially with the whole Stafford year-to-year thing. And I actually think, and we can get to it later in the next hour when we come back to this story, I actually think the way he handled Jared Goff will benefit Ty Simpson moving forward.
Oh, absolutely.
But we'll get to that in the 8 o'clock hour.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's do it then. By the way,
we got Bergie's 3 things.
Right, Bergie's 3 things coming up.
And Michelle Beadle at 8:15 this morning. Plus, Windy is in studio. Not in studio. He's in studio in New York. And he'll be joining us at 9 o'clock, I believe. That all ahead. But first, let's talk about our friends at Prize Picks.
All right.
Yeah, listen, if you want sports action in the state of California, Prize Picks is the place to be. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Cappy, K-A-P-P-Y. Your first $5 lineup gets you a $50 lineup bonus. It's very simple to play Prize Picks, Cappy. It's more, it's less. There's a stat projection for every player imaginable and every sport imaginable. You bundle a couple together. You can even cross-pollinate sports if you'd like. And you can win cold, hard cash.
And we were watching this Dodgers-Padres game last night. Manny Machado struck out. Now, he hit a 2-run home run early in the game that tied the game. But as I said to Chris when we were sitting there watching, I go, well, there it is. There's my win on Prize Picks. I play Manny Machado for a strikeout literally every single day. The problem is I also play Shohei Ohtani for a home run, and Shohei's been letting me down a little bit. But right now, here's what we're promoting. The Do It Live 2026 NBA Finals Sweepstakes. Pick live squares during NBA playoff games, and you can win a trip for 2 to the NBA Finals. All you have to do is make a $5 lineup with at least one live NBA player pick during any part of the playoffs. So you've still got time. Live player picks are picks that are made after the game has already tipped off. So if you're watching the game and you got your app open and you're tracking along the way and you see something you like, is Jalen Brunson going to have more than 12 points in the fourth quarter? Play it. You have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Make a $5 lineup. Get $50 in lineups. And, George, let's hope everybody is playing to win that trip to the NBA Finals on Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, a preferred partner of the NBA.
7:44 on a windy Wednesday on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show. It's okay that the quack was a little low. We're going to make magic. Bergie's 3 things. We'll bring out Bergie's Oregon and talk to Dodgers. And again, Michelle Beadle at 8:15 on a windy Wednesday on ESPN LA.
The personalities you know.
This season, considering how the hell it went, not a failure. They missed LeBron for the first 14 games. He had no preseason. They lose Austin for 5 weeks. Then he eventually comes back.
The personalities you know, the teams you love, the station you spend time with every day. LA's mega sports station. ESPN LA 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Hey, Ty Pennington here, back teaming up with Pechanga Resort Casino to give away another brand new house.
Imagine yourself in an amazing, fully furnished, multi-million-dollar home in beautiful Orange County. All you need to do is play your favorite slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino. It's that easy. Visit Pechanga every Saturday to activate your entries for a chance to win a lucky key to the May 30th grand finale. I'll see you there.
Mike, in sports dynasties, they don't happen by luck. They happen with culture, coaching, and execution.
That's exactly how we run Rotolo Chevrolet, with all of those ingredients.
So how much of this is why you've been number one 14 years in a row?
When you put all those ingredients together and your processes stay in place, you're going to get great results.
And if you come to the store, you're going to find out why you're number one.
Come see what the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet.
From the showroom to the service bay, everyone is at top of their game. Rotolo Chevrolet, built like a champion, driven to win. Visit RotoloChevy.com.
John Ireland here. You want a vodka that's championship caliber? Look for Blue Ice Vodka at Ralph's, America's largest potato vodka. Double gold rated, just 64 calories an ounce. Classic, huckleberry, or double espresso. Blue Ice Vodka. Vodka with standards.
Esquivoso.
Call Jacob. Hey, Cappy, listen, you get into an action, you call Jacob at 800-345-6789, and there's steps to this. Step 1, get safe.
Yeah, step 2, get medical care.
Step 3, document everything.
Step 4, do not guess what you should say to insurance companies.
No, and step 5, count on Jacob.
Count on Jacob.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob, 1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob.
Hey, LA County, it's time to vote. Return your ballot early at any official ballot drop box. Visit plan.lavote.gov to make your voting plan today. That's plan.lavote.gov. Brought to you by the Los Angeles County Registrar.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol. Harry Douglas here. I don't wait for birthdays to celebrate. I grab Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes like rich vanilla birthday cake with buttery funfetti goodness. Seriously, it's unapologetically extra in the best way. And it's sugar-free, so I get all that cake flavor without the guilt. It's tiny, portable, and ready for whenever I need a quick boost. I keep one with me because you never know when you'll need a little party energy. The funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
Hi, this is Sam Pines, partner at Good Karma Brands in ESPN LA. You're starting your day with Sedano and Kap. And Sedano, just to be clear, when we made those changes to the app, it wasn't to sabotage the show. I just knew you'd yell at Morales. And let's be honest, that's great radio. Also, serious question. If I get unsighted, can I join Phi Beta Kappa? Carry on, guys.
Thank you, Sam Pines. Station owner Sam Pines. He wants to join Phi Beta Kappa. I wanted to roll that out this week, but frankly, everybody's been calling. So I
already yelled at you today, which is perfect for me.
I already will roll that out. I'm not even going to get into it with you. I'll roll that out next week.
Phi Beta Kappa?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, you'll get into it with me if I want to get into it.
Nah, I'm really not in the mood. But today is Cher's 80th birthday.
What? Luckily for you, neither am I. I'd rather not talk to you.
That's great. Cher's 80th birthday today.
Hey, Bergie. Cher. In kind of a weird way.
In kind of a weird way, Cappy.
She's still smoking hot, dude. Seriously.
I like it.
Right, Fun?
I like it.
Right?
That does not surprise me.
Can I just say one thing? Like, when you're an 80-year-old lady and you can still, like, have guys 30 years younger than you looking at you going, she's still hot. That's freaking hot. That's all there is to it. You know? Like, I will honestly tell you that Rachel's mom is 80, and she looks damn good. So that, like, bodes well, George.
Okay, now that's really got weird.
Well,
yeah, you're going a little bit over with the.
Isn't her man in her 30s?
Your kind of sort of mother-in-law to your girlfriend is
calling hot?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, when I project out Rachel 25 years from now,
that's fair.
Right.
She's still going to be hot.
Okay.
For an 80-year-old lady.
Yeah.
You know?
7:49. It is time for Bergie's Oregon. You watch the Blue Review each weekday at 6:30 a.m. presented by LAX, where I'll be later on. George is home away from home. 6:30 a.m. Gregory Arthur Bergman, Marcus Grant. They talk Dodgers baseball. Dodgers with a huge win last night in San Diego, Bergie.
It was probably the most satisfying win that I have seen from the Dodgers this year because of all the circumstances. The whole thing with Mason Miller that we talked about, the fact that they were down, they went up 2-0, they tied it up, then it was tied 2-2, then they were down 4-2, tied it up slowly to get to 4-4, and then to get the win off of Mason Miller. That was extremely satisfying. And when the game was over, I can feel it inside me. I was like, I felt great and happy. So it made me start to think.
Wait a second. You really played that back, it would sound like you were discussing a personal experience that was, let's just call it, of the adult variety.
Fine. You know what? That win made
and
me
you're
feel-
talking about a
Yes,
you know that,
absolutely.
right?
Listen, he probably talks about the other thing the same way, with satisfaction.
Hey, it's all on the same level, you know? And Gene loves baseball too, so it all just kind of worked out.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. That's about the most satisfying victory I've felt all season, sister.
But it made me start to think because I've been steadfast on the fact that this is not a rivalry, that the Dodgers-Padres is not a rivalry. The Giants and the Dodgers are a real rivalry. And I've kind of gone back and forth on it, and I talked about it with Marcus on the Blue Review about whether or not this is a rivalry or not, and he brought up the points that I've been making. When the Padres are going to eventually be bad again, will they still be a rival? And I don't think that's the case. So I made it into a rivalry last night because of how I felt.
Yeah.
But now I realize also, to my original thought, it's not a rivalry because when they're bad eventually in the year or two, I won't care about them anymore.
Well, but why will they be bad?
Yeah, explain that part of it.
Well, because they sold, right?
They did sell.
So
they sold for a record price for almost $4 billion. So think about that. The Mets, just as an example, when the Mets were bought by Steve Cohen, he paid $2 billion. Yeah. And because sports franchises continue to rise, right, the valuations continue to rise, the Padres, now don't get me wrong, they're a much better franchise today than they were 10 years ago. They've spent money. They've got star players. They've got a competitive payroll. They've got the second best attendance in all of baseball behind the Dodgers. And they just sold for $4 billion. So the expectation is at some point they're going to go back to being a small market, small payroll team, but yet multi-gazillionaires just bought them. And
if they put money into the team, but that also doesn't necessarily mean anything. Look at Steve Cohen. And
well, no doubt.
Steve Cohen, the Mets are one of the worst teams in all of baseball, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. And right now, it looks like they're not going to make it again. Also, it's just like the Clippers. There are certain teams that you feel like they're not ever going to get back.
The Padres have been pretty darn good. They
have been for a while. So what we decided on is it's a situational rivalry. For this situation, for these last couple of years, it is the rivalry.
Man. I feel like any team that's been in your division this long is kind of your rival. You know,
no, the Giants.
They may not be your main rival, but if you've been in the division together for this long,
the Rockies and the Diamondbacks are not.
Yeah, but they haven't been in the division that long together.
I mean, they've been in for a while at this point, but
not
also
as long as the
Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers in the playoffs.
But why are the Giants, who are no longer the Bruce Bochy 3 World Series.
Well, that goes back to the New York days.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
But my point is that is a historic rivalry.
Because
Dodgers
even when
Giants is a historic rivalry. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is the difference.
But here's the difference real fast.
Yeah.
The difference for me is that when the Giants are bad, it's still satisfying to beat them. Or at least we beat the Giants.
It is still a satisfying victory?
Really?
Yeah, it is. Not as satisfying as the win last night over the Padres.
All right.
But in those certain types of ways.
I would just say
but
this.
it was close.
It's always been that the Padre fans.
So you're basically saying that the Padres are more like a casual fling, as opposed to a
serious,
long-term,
right? But
girlfriend.
But I just want to say this: to the Padre fans, the Dodgers are everything. That's why Dodger fans ridicule Padre fans, because when the Padres win a game, or eventually if they win a series, which they have, the Padres, for them, that's the World Series. Beating the Dodgers is everything.
Let's save this for the next hour as well, Bergie. But let's or maybe even the YouTube hour. But let's go to the next thing.
Sure.
Sheehan.
Real
Talk
fast.
to me about Emmett Sheehan.
Real fast. Emmett Sheehan has been struggling going up and down. Depends on his velocity. Sometimes his velocity is up at 96, 97, and sometimes it's down at 92. And so this is where his struggle is lasting, and it was last night. He went from 96 to 92 within mid-game on his fastball, and that's when he struggles. You can have guys like Alex Vezia that throw 90 miles an hour and get guys out because of their pinpoint accuracy. But when you have a young guy like Sheehan and his velocity drops, he's going to get hit. And he got hit last night, especially by Miguel Andujar, which was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball.
And that thing was a rocket.
And it was killed.
Yep.
So he needs, at some point when everybody's healthy, if he does not get his velocity back to where it probably is mechanical. He's going to probably most likely go down to AAA, figure it out, come back up for the postseason.
But they got to, listen, starting pitching is becoming an issue because
Always.
Blake Snell has just had that surgery.
So he's staying.
No, but I'm just saying he just had that surgery, right? And then you got loose bodies. That's right. And then yesterday we were talking about.
that's the way Greg describes beating the Padres.
Yeah, it was. And I'll tell you
Wait.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Turned into it.
Then you got Glass now, who's got the back problem, right? I mean, so
talk about Glass now.
And hey. And then they just added the kid Lauer to the roster.
Eric Lauer, yeah. They just got him from Toronto,
Right.
who was having a bad year, but pitched against them in the World Series last year for Toronto.
And I know he goes back with Mark Pryor.
Yeah.
In the pitching coach for the Dodgers. So anyway, point is Sheehan, they may need him, frankly, to stay up.
No, they will. They need him to stay up, but he has to get the velocity up. All right, the third thing, Shohei Ohtani pitching tonight. It's very important what he does tonight. He's been phenomenal on the mound. Unbelievable everything he's been doing. I really hope it hasn't come out fully. Dave Roberts said yesterday that he thinks he's going to hit today, but with the way he's been hitting, not home runs, but he was on base 3 times yesterday, 2 doubles and a walk. He needs tonight would be a good night for him to pitch and hit because you're playing the Padres and fighting for that first base.
And they got an off day.
Yep, and an off day the next day, exactly.
Yeah,
and,
fighting
and he
against
needs
their
to do.
rivals,
He needs to do situational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he needs to do both for the playoffs later on.
Okay,
that's the 3 things.
Nice job, Berg.
Thank you, Bergie. That is the 3 things. Watch the Blue Review tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. with Gregory Arthur Bergman, Marcus Grant, presented by LAX. 7:56 on a windy Wednesday. Windy will join us at 9 o'clock this morning in the YouTube hour. Michelle Beadle coming up at 8:15. It is approaching 8 a.m. at KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Cappy, why don't we talk about the Wellness Company?
Hey, guys, summertime is here, right? It's happening for us right now, and a lot of people are already making their plans for summer vacations. And I know road trips will be a lot more expensive this year because of gas prices. But let's talk about the medical emergency kit, because if you're going on a vacation this summer, the last thing you want to have happen is you get sick on vacation. Now you get sick and you're like, I don't know what to do, man. I can't breathe. My ears are killing me. My throat is killing me. And it's like, I don't have a pharmacist in wherever I'm vacationing this summer. And so, you know what? You got to have a medical emergency kit. When you get your medical emergency kit, you're going to have inside, I'm holding it up for everybody to see on the YouTube. When you're in, you've got all these different medications. So it could be amoxicillin. It could be a Z-Pack. But you say to yourself, well, I don't know. I mean, I've got my ears are hurting and my throat is hurting. What medicine do I take? You go into the guidebook. And in the guidebook, you look for what your symptoms are, and they'll tell you what medication to take. And if you don't feel confident, there is a doctor standing by waiting for your phone call. Every family should have a medical emergency kit. Every kid going to camp, every kid in college, every household should have this medical emergency kit. It's like having a pharmacy right there in your hands. All you have to do is go to urgentcarekit.com/710, urgentcarekit.com/710. Use our promo code 710. You're saving $45 on the medical emergency kit.
Thank you, Cappy. When we return in 4 minutes, we'll do top of the hour integrity. Rams. We'll finish up the Rams conversation, plus the conference finals, Dodgers, and the great Michelle Beadle at 8:15 this morning on LA's show. You know what we do. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We'd like to thank our founding partner,
LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, where change is in the air. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Next time you're at my home away from home, LAX, look up. You'll see the future of travel in action. It's the all-electric Skylink train. It's now testing, and trust me, this is a game changer. What does it take to build a champion? It takes round-the-clock preparation. And soon, Skylink will connect you to the airport terminals, the new rental car center, and LA Metro. From practice to prime time, the LAX Skylink. Fast, free, and built for LA. In testing now to help you skip the traffic later.
He's the son of a school teacher and Navy veteran who built a company worth billions and walked away from it. Tom Steyer, pledging to give away half of everything he earned to charity and fight for Californians. So when out-of-state corporations weren't paying their fair share of taxes, Tom Steyer led the fight for Prop 39 and won, making sure no one takes advantage of California and gets away with it, and earning California billions of dollars for our schools. Tom took on big oil to stop them polluting our air and water and smashed them. Tom fought for free school lunches, so no child goes hungry while learning. Tom Steyer, strong enough to take on the special interests crushing us with the cost of living. As governor, Tom will stop Wall Street from buying up middle-class homes, lower utility rates by 25%, and ban corporate PAC money from polluting our politics. Other politicians talk, Tom Steyer gets it done.
Ad paid for by Steyer for Governor 2026.
Hey everybody, it's Cap. I'm here with Angie from Angelica's Insurance. Every team needs a strong defense, and when it comes to protecting what matters most, they've got you covered.
That's right. From auto and home to renters, business, and life insurance, we built a game plan tailored just for you.
And if life throws a penalty your way, like a DUI, for example,
we got you. We specialize in DUIs, SR22 coverage, getting you back on the road fast and affordably. Visit angelicas-ins.com or call 1-888-717-0773 for your free quote today.
Rams fans, D-Far here. The Rams are making history in 2026, heading to Melbourne, Australia to face the Niners. You can be there. I've teamed up with True Fan Travel to hook you up with the ultimate fan experience. Game tickets, hotels, exclusive events, even a chance to meet me all in one package. This isn't just a trip, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Visit TrueFanTravel.com right now and secure your spot. That's TrueFanTravel.com. See you there.
Collectors, Promo Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center, May 23rd and 24th. Biggest show ever! Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CSA, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. 770 tables, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it! Promo Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to PromoCardShow.com. That's PromoCardShow.com.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle. All the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit PayPal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
Harry Douglas here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Hi, this is Avner Gat, founding partner of the Sedano Kap Morning Show. Avner Gat Inc. is your trusted Los Angeles public adjuster. Call me directly at 818-917-5256 for help navigating the complexity of your insurance claim. Now back to the Sedano Kap Morning Show. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Abner. 8:03 in the morning. A windy Wednesday. Windy will be here at 9 o'clock. Michelle Beadle at 8:15. Happy 53rd birthday to Busta Rhymes. Oh, this is his jam. Busta? You remember he did with Janet Jackson. What's it gonna be, sucker? He didn't have the sucker part.
He should have added the sucker part.
Today is also National Rescue Dog Day. Now, I'm more in the bunny lifestyle now. With Otis the bunny. Boy, this week I have missed not seeing Otis the bunny.
Yeah.
But rescue a dog. Don't go buying an exotic dog for $9,000.
Exotic.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yeah, adopt, don't shop. Same with bunnies, too. Don't need to buy no bunnies. Adopt them, Jack.
Is Otis a rescue bunny?
She is. Well, she was born into a litter. Do they call a litter? I don't know. She was born into a group of little bunnies, and a friend reached out to Stephanie and said, hey, aren't you a bunny person? Do you want to adopt this bunny? Because there's too many bunnies. So, she was adopted. She wasn't bought.
I will admit that Jack the Frenchie is a...
you purchased it?
Came from a breeder. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, breeder.
Get
out
of here. Get out of here. Why?
Oh, Funch is going to come
You got
after you.
Mungo Funch's mad on that one.
Get out of here. Why, Funch?
Because you got to adopt, man.
Yeah, but understand a couple of things. First of all, Jack the Frenchie's like 12 or 13 years old. And this was at a time when this was my ex-wife who actually got the dog.
Well, she's a bad person. We know that.
She's the unethical one.
Subsequently, I've adopted the dog.
All right.
So do I get any
You
credit?
rescued the dog.
I
You were
rescued
blaming
it.
your
Okay, great.
ex-wife
You got it.
on the dog now? Is
Yeah,
that what you're
well,
doing?
the ex-wife, she got the dog from a breeder, and then I rescued the dog from the ex-wife.
From her, right, yes.
For what it's worth, there are plenty of Frenchies in rescues all over the place.
Yes,
so
there
if
are.
you want a Frenchie, you don't need to go to a breeder.
Funchy, don't
Dumb
worry.
bag.
Lola is a rescue.
How about Benny, George?
Benny is a rescue.
Okay, so you see,
Chewie's a rescue.
you guys are all
Just
better
for the
people than
record,
me.
Cappy, you're a rescue.
Yeah, in some ways. In some
Sedano and I
ways.
rescued you and saved your career.
Yeah, I guess in some ways I am a rescue dog.
Yeah.
You know, I guess so.
Chris and I are clearly rescue people.
Yes, you are. Listen, next time I get another dog, Funch, just so you know, I would prefer to rescue as well because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay $3 or $4 grand for a new dog.
All right, real
it's
quick before we
crazy.
get back into sports, the 8 o'clock hour here on the Sedano and Cap Morning Show, brought to you by Angelica's Insurance. Every team needs a strong defense, and Angelica's Insurance has got you covered. From auto and home to business and life, they build a plan just for you. Even DUI and SR22 coverage to get you back on the road fast. Visit angelicas-ins.com for a free quote today, Sedano.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about the Rams because Sean McVey had an appearance on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and he actually gave us real insight on what he liked about Ty Simpson. It was the first time he actually talked about that. And then, he talked about, why it was difficult to take a QB at that position in number 13 in the draft in the first round. And, he elaborated more on, Matthew Stafford and how much he means to them, et cetera, et cetera. But look, I think the interesting thing was the way he talked about the Jared Goff situation. Now, we've heard him talk about Jared Goff and kind of take blame for that Jared Goff situation numerous times. But he went into a level of detail, again, in this podcast, as he did on a number of different topics that maybe he hadn't gone to previously.
I'm super sensitive to what an amateur I was with the Goff situation, trading him. When you say, well, why do you say that? You want to talk about lack of courage, lack of clarity, lack of ability to be able to look somebody in the eye that you've had a lot of really cool experiences with and tell them, hey, not easy to say, but we might explore an opportunity to acquire Matthew Stafford and you'll be a part of a trade there. But instead, it's like, you kind of get frustrated and it was more really about me than it was ever him in terms of like, I had a lot of things that I needed to be able to work through, and I didn't handle that the right way. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't have made the decision, but the handling of it was exactly the antithesis of how I would hope to handle things moving forward. I don't run away from that.
Is it a thing that you're like delivering ideas and news differently, or you look back and you're like, okay, I was just avoiding some conversations,
I think
way
it's really,
you kind of just let the business take care of it, and then I kind of just sit back like, hey, this wasn't my
There's
fault.
a lot of stuff that goes on. I think the important thing is to operate with clarity for people. You say, okay, so what do you mean by that? I was frustrated. Did I ever have the courage to really sit him down after that season in 2020 and really tell him, hey, there's a possibility that we'll explore some avenues that might lead to you not being our quarterback moving forward? No. Would I do it differently now? Absolutely. Because I think the biggest thing that I learned that he was able to share, and I appreciate his honesty on all of that, and there is nobody to blame but myself, but it was really like, what did he not like the most about it? He was caught off guard. You're like, where did this come from? Because I didn't have the courage to really be able to communicate in the middle or in the midst of it. And so now it's almost kind of like you got this, whether it's, you say it's a good conscience on your shoulder of like, man, if you love people enough, you got to keep it real with them. And there's always this balance of, the empathy, but also more importantly, the honesty.
Wow.
So here's the thing, and I want to keep this tight, okay? Because we do have to get to Michelle Beadle here in a second. I think that experience that he just described there, okay, will help him, and I think it already has helped him in this situation he's currently in. It really now shows why, and he's now illustrated now numerous times in different conversations, whether it was to Peter Schrager and Laura Rutledge after the draft late, on the last day, or in this conversation with these guys about Ty Simpson and Matthew Stafford, about why it was so important to them to do this the way it was done, right? And why this was a difficult decision to bring in Ty Simpson, albeit the right decision, albeit a guy that he liked. And I do think this will help him not only in this transition between these two quarterbacks, but perhaps it will help Ty Simpson when he's a young quarterback and he may go through some struggles because Sean McVay has learned from all these experiences collectively, but it really started with the way he mishandled the Jared Goff situation.
I got to tell you something, George. I had not heard that soundbite that we just played. And I don't know about everybody else who's maybe hearing it for the first time like I just did. To me, what I just heard, wow. Here's why. For me, this is why what he just said was so impactful for me. First of all, he was a very young coach, okay? And when you're a young coach, you are a control freak by nature. And I always said that the reason it didn't work out for Jared Goff is because Sean wanted to control what was going out on the field, and Goff was still a young quarterback, and it's hard to control a guy like that, or maybe it's even harder to trust a guy like that. But where with Stafford, with all of his experience and his age and his wisdom and so on, and the things that he'd learned along the way, much easier for a young coach to say, I trust you. You've got the experience. But, in life, forget about football for a second. Confrontation can be hard, particularly when you're young. To hear a guy reflecting on 6 years earlier and saying, I didn't have the courage. George, you don't hear NFL coaches that vulnerable and real. He says, if you love somebody and you respect them, then be honest with them, but simultaneously understand their side of it. That's the empathy part of it all. I am just blown away by what I just heard. I'm just giving you like raw, real, instant reaction because I'd not heard that before. And he's right. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage to tell somebody the truth of the reality of the situation, even if it could be really uncomfortable. And by the way, you don't have to be 33 or 34 years old. You could be 56 years old like I am. I know I look a lot younger, everybody. I got it. But you could be 56 years old and still have a really hard time communicating reality because you're trying to avoid confrontation.
It is applicable to any walk of life and any age group for sure. We can dive into this a little further.
God, I'm really impacted by that.
I was going to say, was it the music, Cap?
I don't know if it was the sappy music in the background.
Yeah, that's what I think it was.
I don't know, George. What do you think? You think it was the music or you think it was the words?
I think it was very Radio Ronaldo all the way around is what I would say. All right, let's tell us our friends about SeaWorld before our buddy Michelle Beadle stops by.
Hey, I want to tell everybody, SeaWorld San Diego is, listen, it's getting really close to the summertime. We have an appearance at SeaWorld San Diego. We've gotten a lot of listeners that have hit me up saying, hey, can I come to this broadcast on June 5th? It's Friday. I'm like, yeah, you get your park admission. You come hang out with us. We're going to be enjoying the brand new Shark Encounter, which opens on May 22nd, which is not today. It's 2 days from now. It's Friday. You can feed the sharks. You are going to go face-to-face with these sharks. Linz, I hope you're ready. You're going to feed sharks. Last time you rode the roller coaster, this time you're going to feed sharks.
I'm ready.
So the all-new Shark Encounter is all ready to go. And for LA thrill seekers, San Diego is ready for you with this new shark up-close VIP experience. It's a must-do this summer. Southern California's only opportunity to safely feed sharks while learning directly from animal care experts right here at SeaWorld San Diego. Learn about the shark behavior, their diet, their feeding processes. Discover the critical role sharks play in the ocean's ecosystem. So, look, we're going to have a great summer at SeaWorld San Diego. And don't forget, right now, tickets start at just $59.99. But these early season savings will not last much longer. Grab your tickets now at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. Make this summer one to remember. And I don't know about the rest of you guys. My kids grew up going to SeaWorld. It's awesome. You're going to have a great experience. And we're going to be there on June 5th. SeaWorld San Diego, open your world to something amazing.
Thank you, Cappy. 8:13 on a windy Wednesday. Michelle Beadle in just a few moments.
Oh, we're staying here for Michelle Beadle.
Oh, I thought we were breaking. That was the
we
whole
can break
thing.
now.
Lovely.
Yeah, let's break now.
Okay.
So we can bring her on right afterwards.
Beautiful. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. Well, it was the plan, but then Windy moved.
It's okay.
Okay. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
Waba Grill is an LA original, so we've got to keep it real. Real fresh with our Asian-inspired menu that's grilled to order every time. Real quality with our marinated proteins like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour, weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new chili crisp dumplings, paired with a premium or beverage drink, like our delicious Thai tea, both for only $5. Only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Next time you're at my home away from home, LAX, look up. You'll see the future of travel in action. It's the all-electric Skylink train. It's now testing, and trust me, this is a game changer. What does it take to build a champion? It takes round-the-clock preparation. And soon, Skylink will connect you to the airport terminals, the new rental car center, and LA Metro. From practice to prime time, the LAX Skylink. Fast, free, and built for LA. In testing now to help you skip the traffic later.
Hey guys, if you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that could last for weeks. Getting sick right before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy can be really stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Packs to treat wide ranges of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. You just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook, or you call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your bed sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. Save $45 with our promo code 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710. Promo code is 710 at urgentcarekit.com/710.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, and scores to settle. All the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you can win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the entire season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase is necessary. See websites for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
8:16 on a windy Wednesday. Brian Windhorst will be here in the 9 o'clock hour. Happy birthday. We've also been 2014, Cappy, to Joe Cocker. And now, Sedano, legendary friend of the show, the great Michelle Beadle joins us now on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
I know Beads has got to be ecstatic. Her Spurs are up 1-0 in a classic contest the other day, an instant classic. Now, Beads, actually, we were just talking about, what did you say earlier, Christopher? Today is National Adopt a Pet Day? Is that what you said? So, I mean, no one more famously adopts more pets than Michelle Beadle, I feel.
No, I have not. I'm down to one pug, Winnie, who's about 20-ish, maybe 21, who knows.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she's going to outlive me. I've had to change my entire will and plan, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that is what I love, especially here in LA. We got a lot of shelter issues here, so I love that. I hope people take advantage of the day.
Yeah.
Boy, I got really
now, have
shamed
you left
earlier.
anything?
Wow.
Wait, have you left anything in the will for Wemby? Is my question.
My God, well, I don't need to. I'd like him to leave some Louis Vuitton or all this good stuff that he's got going on. No, he's bringing me such joy that I will purposely live at least another 10 years so I can make sure that I watch him gloriously collect hardware across the board, because he is an actual gift from the sports gods. I feel very lucky, like almost guilty lucky that we got him on our team. And so
you should feel
it's just
that
one of those things where I'm enjoying it. I know. People that hate the Spurs are like, yeah, you guys cheated. I'm like, no, we didn't. But it was very lucky. It was a moment.
I mean, Cappy, the Spurs, Beadle, I don't know if you know Cappy at all, but Cappy's and I've been doing this show for a long time now. And, Cappy, the Spurs have lived a very charmed life.
Oh, my goodness.
And I know why Laker fans don't like the Spurs for numerous reasons. They've had their battles. But, David Robinson gets hurt. They get Tim Duncan, who's arguably one of the greatest big men ever. Then all of a sudden they hit some lean years after Kawhi. Here comes Wemby to save them. I mean, for the love of God, man. They're like they got like a horseshoe up there, you know what.
Yeah, I was going to say the horseshoe up the butt analogy is like kind of what it feels like. And I will say this, I love sports. It's obviously why I chose this as my career. But my personal investment is just one team, and it's the San Antonio Spurs. And I haven't been invested for 7 years. Like, yeah, we love the playoffs, we love the finals, we want to watch some good basketball, but there is a huge difference between me watching the last 7 years of basketball and now. And I was reminded of it the other night. Like that was both enjoyable and torture at the same time. And I don't know, I feel alive again, you guys. I'm back.
Well, hey, listen, I think that for people who said all season long, you know, the Spurs are on their way, but they're still kind of young and they're not battle tested. And then we watch what happened in game one. And I think people woke up on Tuesday morning and went, or was it Monday morning, and said, oh my goodness, they're here, they're ready. But then again, we can look at what happened during the regular season. They won all their games, essentially, against Oklahoma City. Yeah. So maybe that was a prelude to what was coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, I sometimes we don't realize that the quote-unquote experience that we sort of expect teams to have before they move on to the next step, I suppose what's happening is we're just watching them gain that experience almost on a heightened level and doing it faster and in real time. And it's crazy because it's not one guy who's learning things and taking it into account and using it in the next game. It's all of them. And so it's just, yeah, I was one of those people. I mean, again, I root for this team, but I thought, you know what, everything that happens from here on out is going to be awesome experience to add to the list. I'm not stressed about it. They're not supposed to beat OKC, blah, blah, blah. And then the other night happens without De'Aaron Fox. Right. And I'm just like, oh, well, hold on a second. And I've already told work that, you know, I'm going to the finals, leave me alone. Like, it's just like the whole thing. I'm going to go home for a few days. But it is glorious. And this series is, I don't care if it's scripted or not. This is what we all wanted. No offense, but right now this is the series that we all wanted, and I'm loving it. And I'm super stoked for tonight and also nervous. It's a weird day on game day now.
And, of course, Michelle's work is Run It Back on FanDuel TV. She does a show with Chandler Parsons and Lou Williams. It's incredibly entertaining. I know DeMarcus Cousins is also part of the show at times as well. Yeah. A lot of different people popping through there with Beads talking NBA. And listen, I want to get to something you guys actually said about the Lakers there in a couple of minutes. But let's finish this Spurs conversation.
Sure.
To me, it's not even just Wemby, right? Like, Wemby obviously is the attraction. He is, you know, we have a 22-year-old that's willing to embrace the quote-unquote pressures of being the next face of the league. All that stuff is fascinating on a bunch of different levels. You know, the training with the Shaolin monks that Ramona Shelburne brought back in a story most recently on ESPN.com. I mean, all the stuff he does is wild, right? But it's not just Wemby. It's also Stephon Castle. It's also Dylan Harper and their nucleus of guys that they're going to have for the next several years that have also come to this thing and have shown at different moments how ready they are for this moment. I know Steph Castle had a rough game in game one, but he has proven throughout these playoffs how invaluable he is. Dylan Harper, did something in game one that only Magic Johnson has done previously as a rookie in the playoffs. So it really isn't just Wemby. The scary part is it's way more than just Wemby.
It is, again, am I a monster homer? Of course I am. But it is fascinating to me, not these guys that they've added to this roster, but the personality traits of the guys that they've added to this roster. Like, it seems like the Timmy Duncan aura has just sort of been what's expected as a San Antonio Spur. But to see that sort of stoic face and the, no emotion, in a good way, by the way, and just this ability to not be intimidated by any of these moments in these 20, 21-year-old kids, like, it is a fascinating move, and it really, again, all that credit goes to everybody in the front office and everybody in scouting and everybody who kind of just goes and sees these guys, because with both of these gentlemen, other people had a shot at them, and there was something about them that the Spurs thought, no, they are the perfect fit, because they're, you guys know this, really big on, like, San Antonio Spurs culture and fitting in. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Dennis Rodman was a Spur for 5 minutes, and I thought to myself, dear God, that is not a San Antonio Spur characteristic list. It was amazing. He brought Madonna to training camp. What a time to be alive. But that being said, it's that these kids And maybe it's just because they walked into a room that was just so stable and, you know, what's expected of you is known right off the bat. But every game I watch, when I watch Stephen Castle, and again, he was put in a position that he's not normally used to, and so the turnover thing was probably inevitable, but he's not afraid. No superstar is going to make him feel like he's got to take a second seat. That is a really awesome thing to watch in such a young guy, and knowing they're going to be around for a while. I know I had this conversation with my dad last night. I was like, Dad, this could go on for like 8 years, man. I mean, I totally sound like an idiot, but they are perfect fits.
Yeah.
Like truly perfect fits.
Yeah.
So well done, everybody who was a part of that.
But you know what else, though, guys, is that while we talk and we focus on how young the Spurs are, and you know these young kids that are 22 years old and they're growing up in front of our eyes and so on, you know, even though De'Aaron Fox did not play in Game 1, and even though Harrison Barnes only played 6 minutes and really had no offensive numbers or contribution, you know, those are two guys that came from an organization together in Sacramento where they were not around winning, and they were not around stability. And to see two veteran players, I'm a huge Harrison Barnes fan just because I think he's a pro's pro. To see those two guys be on this team and essentially serving as like the veterans to this group, I think that goes unnoticed what the front office was able to accomplish in bringing in players like that to complement what was eventually going to be this very young team. What do you say to all of that, Michelle?
No, I love that. I mean, I would even throw Luke Cornett in there just as sort of like a stable, been there, done that kind of presence. But yeah, with the Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron, and the thing about De'Aaron Fox is like he's still got a lot left in the tank, and you don't think that dude's hungry. So not just the veteran presence, but the idea that you now find yourselves in a situation that you are going to be contenders for the near future. So it's got to be. I can't imagine coming from a Kings culture where, I mean, God bless whoever knows what the heck they're doing. Like, I don't know what the plan is there. I'm not sure they know what the plan is there. And it's been like that for a really long time. And so to go from that to this, it's got to be a culture shock in the absolute best of ways. And I do love that they're even in street clothes the other day. This is De'Aaron Fox.
Right.
He's in it. He's invested.
Yep.
He's coaching and pumping these guys up every minute. It's vital. Because when you put out a starting lineup with average age of 22, you got to have somebody, you know, somebody's got to, and they are wise for how young they are, but they're still 22. So it's nice to look over there and see some dudes who've been around and seen a lot and can help.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm behind the huddles in these games now that I'm on ESPN radio doing sidelines, and you're right. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, I mean, he was talking to Wemby during the game about like, hey, Caruso's guarding you this way. This is how we have to go over the top on him to get you the ball, and like, talking entry passes with him. And on the flip side, Caruso is kind of that guy for the Thunder, as we saw last year and this year, and he was actually the impetus as to how they started to attack Stephon Castle during that game, beginning late in the first quarter. So, like both teams have those kind of guys.
No, you're right. Caruso is he's the guy that you hate if you're playing against him, but you kind of wish he was on your team. And he showed that again in Game 1. But he's vital. He's one of those pieces. I kind of love those guys because not everybody can be a superstar. Like, I think most of us probably relate more to the role players that are down the bench a bit. So I love watching it happen. Now, do I want Caruso to have 31 points tonight? No. But if it means SGA is not great, we'll take the trade. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they try to figure out as far as game planning against Wemby tonight.
We do a bit here on the show called Radio Rinaldi, where Cappy, he loves a good sappy, heart and soul kind of guy.
That's my kind of guy. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So we go down the Radio Rinaldi path every once in a while here on the show. And just do the sappy heart and soul story on the guy on the roster. All right, now you on Run It Back with Chandler Parsons and Lou Williams on FanDuel TV the other day. We're talking about Luka's comments about Austin Reeves and how and the story that's out there, right? That Luka does not want Austin in a trade for Giannis. The Lakers are linked to Giannis along with, I believe, the Wolves, the Heat, and maybe the Knicks, if I recall correctly, in the Celtics. Yep. So, like, I get it. I actually don't think Giannis and Luka would be a great fit personally. But what did you make of this story that comes out that Luka loves Austin so much that he wouldn't even give him up for a player like Giannis?
Well, look, I mean, optically, I love that he said it, because obviously if you're Austin Reeves, that's probably got to give you the warm tingles, at least for 5 minutes. But I don't know how much dating of men you guys have done, but they lie. They lie a lot. So
when you said that, I was like, I've not really dated many dudes.
Yeah,
but
not me either.
I've got a lot of close friends that I consider, great relationships.
I mean, we're tight, but not that tight.
We've not
right,
dated per se.
Oh, not that tight.
Yeah.
It's good to say. I will say that. I think diplomatically, that is the exact right thing to say. But look, if adding Giannis, if in the eyes of the beholder, they've decided that is the fit, the thing that's going to put him over the top, he's gone. So I'll be curious. I don't know about you guys. I'm already exhausted about the Giannis story, and we haven't even officially gotten into it yet. It's going to be fun, because I think it's going to trickle down to a lot of other things. We've got to wait on Giannis. But yeah, I'm glad he said it. I don't believe it. I think if it's a good enough deal, they're doing it.
I like that. Healthy skepticism. I like that.
Yeah, and I do want to get back to yeah, I agree. I do want to get back to the Lakers, but just the Giannis thing too, as you mentioned, men lie or whatever. I don't know how many men you've dated. Giannis is also and has issues with being the guy to want to break up in the relationship. Like, for the love of God, man, we've been at this dance for years.
Hard, George. It's hard to break up.
I mean, just tell people how you really feel. Stop doing this passive-aggressive dance.
No, it's hard to break up. And nobody wants to be the guy that does the breakup. In fact, as a guy, you know what you really prefer when you're ready for the relationship to break up? You'd really rather have the lady or the partner, you'd rather have them break up with you. You're like, oh, thank God she broke up with me.
That is the coward's way. That's the beta way out. You can't live your life like that. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. This breakup has been, honestly, painfully pathetic to watch. And from the beginning, I mean, again, it's probably because I'm a woman and we're a little more cynical. But as soon as he started all this, I was like, oh, this is going to drag on he's over it. I thought he was going to New York 2 seasons ago. Like, I've been on this for a really long time. And now we get to really go through it for real. So I'm curious. And then you got Taylor Jenkins there. At least he was told, hey, we don't know if he's going to be here when he took that job, because that would suck for him. And I feel for him. But he knows he's out.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what do you think the Lakers should do? Like, should they bring back LeBron and Reeves and just give it one more try? Like, what have you guys discussed in regards to that?
It's weird, because the Lakers, for me, are such a bizarre puzzle. And, yes, obviously LeBron is a huge part of that. Like, will he, won't he? Will they, won't they? And what I find fascinating about talking about the Lakers is everyone has agreed there should be a change, but I have yet to hear what that change should be, like a really good viable option, or who should come in. I will add shooters. Like, it seems to just be a very generic, vague response. And I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I don't see LeBron. I know everyone's got this Hollywood ending idea of LeBron going to Cleveland, and off of last night, I don't know what's going to happen in Cleveland. That was an epic collapse that might trickle down in so horrible ways. I don't know if he even would be interested in going to Cleveland to sort of finish things up with a Hollywood ending. I think, like a lot of people have said, I think he probably loves it out here. There's a lot to love about living out here. And so if they can figure out a way to 1-2 year this bad boy, I don't know. Because that's another one that sort of affects everything else that they can do. I don't know that maxing out Austin Reeves and then keeping him and Luka together, it looks good for a minute, but I don't know if it's everlasting. And I'm also, unfortunately, a big believer that, like, I don't think Luka's necessarily going to be the guy on a championship team. There are things that he does that sort of irk me. Yeah, I get that he's an amazing basketball player and he's a great
do
scorer,
tell. I'd like to hear more.
I don't know that his style, I really don't know that his style translates. Yes, individually on every list that you could possibly make, but as a championship, participant, there's something about him that it just turns me off every time. But maybe that missing piece is what would change the sort of style or the way. The thing is, I don't think Luka changes. I think Luka's Luka. I don't know what y'all are doing. I got to be honest. Like, it is, something has to change, but what that is, I don't know. And until LeBron also decides, like, you're kind of in a quagmire. You're in purgatory is what this is.
Well, I mean, you really are, because LeBron we had to hear him say this year, the number of times that he told us how old he was this past year.
I'm 41 years old.
Think about what's going to happen next year. I mean, like he doesn't want to hear about it. He don't want to be bothered because he's too old. He only getting older. And so listen, as great as LeBron was, and as much respect as I now have, more so than ever before, for the way he changed his role, for the way he was a great teammate, for the way he carried this team through that series against Houston. As awesome as it was, if you're thinking about the future is Luka, then do you really look at San Antonio and Oklahoma City and think, we run this back, we'll be better next year, and we can actually get over on these two teams? Michelle, I don't think that they can beat either of these two teams the way they are right now, and this may take a really long time.
I agree with you. And again, unfortunately for the Los Angeles Lakers, that really long time calendar is not acceptable. And that's what happens when you're a legendary organization. Like, there's not that kind of patience. Like, San Antonio, take your time. You're all we got, like whatever you do, we'll be waiting. But in Los Angeles, it's like, no, there's an expectation year in, year out. I'll say this. I think they outperformed a lot of people's expectations this season, but that's still not, it's not going to be good enough. So yeah, I don't know what the missing piece is. I don't know where Giannis is best. Like, I hear so many teams now interested, and sometimes I feel like we make roster moves based on like popularity and superstardom. I don't know that the fit is what's going to happen. So yeah, look, LeBron impressed everyone. Like, I don't even understand some of the stuff he was doing this year. He was not just there as a 41-year-old. He was very much an effective part of that team. But I don't know, man. It might be a while, and people are going to have to be patient.
Beats, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to watch Run It Back, FanDuel TV. Woo-hoo! Check it out. Beats, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out with us.
No, thanks, guys. I loved it.
See ya.
There you go, Michelle Beadle.
I actually think, she brought up an interesting thing about Luka.
She did. She did,
and
indeed.
Can he be the piece? Now, I think the one thing everyone looks at is the two-way player part of it. The fact that he's not a two-way player. There's not a lot of examples, to her point, of guys who are not two-way players winning championships, singular or plural. Let's dive into that a little bit, and then I do want to get back to the Sean McVey stuff because I think there's way more meat on the Sean McVey. He was on Bussin' with the Boys and really had some interesting comments about Jared Goff, some revelatory stuff about himself and his relationship with quarterbacks, including Goff, Stafford, and Ty Simpson. We'll get to that as well coming up.
Thanks, Sedano. I need to read a few things. So, Children's Hospital Los Angeles' biggest event of the year is back. Walk and Play LA brings the community together for a fun-filled day supporting kids who need life-saving care. Enjoy a scenic 3K walk, plus music, games, and activities for all ages. Join us Saturday, June 6th at the Santa Monica Pier. Sign up at ESPNLA.com. Join Team ESPNLA. I'll be out there broadcasting live and then walk in the 3K. Use code PLAY, P-L-A-Y, to save $10. Visit ESPNLA.com to learn more. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to interview Dawn Wilcox from CHLA. She had us out there for Make March Matter last year when we broadcast live from the hospital. And I talked to Mr. Hidalgo, and he talked about his story with his daughter, Mia, who was in liver failure and had to have a liver transplant 4 months into her being born.
Ooh.
And she went to CHLA. She's now 2.5 years old.
Wow.
She's going to be a captain that day on Team Walk and Play for CHLA. She's going to come out. I'm going to interview her on the air. This is what we did last year, and we raised so much money for CHLA. If your kid is ever in this position, or a friend of yours, or a cousin, a niece, and they have to go to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles to get life-saving care, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles doesn't say, hey, where's your money? They take care of it. Mm-hmm. They help people. No matter what your economical status is, they'll help you. So help them. Go to CHLA. Go to Team ESPNLA.com. Join Team ESPNLA and help raise money for the kids. Also, Cappy, I sent you the link. We'll do it next, too, along with everything that Sedano teased there. We're going to do the Coors. So not goal as we get ready for World Cup.
Yeah.
We're going to try out your skills with Coors. And Coors just announced that 0.0 is coming into play. Look at that.
Good for you.
0.0.
How about
That's
that?
the Sedano Kap Morning Show, waking you up on a windy Wednesday next on ESPNLA.
ESPN LA may sound one way on AM.
But you know where it sounds best?
You guessed it, crystal clear digital audio.
Crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA wherever you get your apps.
And you can always watch LA's mega sports station live or on demand on our YouTube channel at ESPN Los Angeles.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is back at the Pasadena Convention Center, May 23rd and 24th. Biggest show ever! Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards, plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CSA, CGC, and JSA will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. 770 tables. Thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Pasadena Convention Center, Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
It's Bethel Duran, and you know how much I love my Toyota. And right now, the deals are sizzling at Northridge and Wondre's Toyota. Get a brand new 2026 Camry for just $389 a month for 36 months, $4,999 due at signing, or finance for just 4.99% APR for 60 months. What about a brand new Tacoma? I'm thinking of doing this. You can lease for just $279 a month for 36 months, $4,999 due at signing, or you can finance for just 2.99% APR for 48 months. In the 818, go see NorthridgeToyota.com. In the 626, WondrersToyota.com.
Rams fans, DFAR here. The Rams are making history in 2026, heading to Melbourne, Australia to face the Niners. You can be there. I've teamed up with True Fan Travel to hook you up with the ultimate fan experience. Game tickets, hotels, exclusive events, even a chance to meet me all in one package. This isn't just a trip, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Visit TrueFanTravel.com right now and secure your spot. That's TrueFanTravel.com. See you there.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of Los Angeles is offering up to 25% off windows and doors and 0% financing for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends May 31st, 2026.
It's time for the Wild Fork Foods Yacht Rock Song of the Morning.
It's time for the Wild Fork Foods Yacht Rock Song of the Morning on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Wild Fork, your neighborhood meat and seafood market.
Now, he's put on his captain's hat.
I am the captain. This is the captain's table. The captain sits at the captain's table.
Captain Condiment has the Yacht Rock all queued up.
Now.
I'm a fool to do your dirty work.
Oh, no. 841, good morning. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a windy Wednesday. Windy will be here at 9 o'clock for our YouTube hours. The Rich Eisen Show begins terrestrially. Yeah, a little dirty work, Steely Dan.
Yeah.
I'm a fool to do your dirty work, Cappy, although you made me do it last night.
Oh, no, I blame last night on you.
Yeah, well, I had to do a lot of dirty work during the day, so I wanted some pizza, and we were disgusting. But we'll get into what Sedano teased. We've got about 15 minutes here before we exit. 55:50 is our out time, and we got to talk about our friend Jacob and Ronnie. But Sedano, real quick, before we get into sports talk. Coming up, the World Cup is, of course, in L.A. For 2026. And our friends at Coors Light, we always love our summertime partnership with Coors Light. Instead of saying goal, you got to say Coors. So, Cappy, give us your best Coors right now.
All right, so this is my, Andres Cantor kind of thing.
Yes.
All right, George, hear me out. You ready? The U.S. scores a goal, and instead of saying goal, I'm going to try core. You ready?
Let's go. 3, 2.
Coors Light.
Beautiful.
See, I liked it before you started sounding like a rooster.
Yeah.
Which part was roostery?
Like that part.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did you think about the intentional voice cracking though? Did you like that? The
I would like to, maybe some you're different, but I'd like to hear it without the cracking.
Okay, so no cracking.
Yeah, let me hear you try to just do it like Andres Cantor.
Okay,
as long as you can go.
Okay, you ready? Timing.
All right, here we go.
Let's see kind of long.
In 3, 2.
Let me take a deep breath.
All
right, hold on. Let me take a deep breath here.
Hold on. Ready, set.
Coors
Wow.
Like,
not bad.
How long?
22 seconds.
21 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, 21.73.
That's impressive.
21.73?
Considering the amount of calories you consumed last night,
yeah,
that's impressive work by you.
21.73.
Yeah.
Well, we love our friends at Coors Light, of course, getting ready for the World Cup, and I'm very excited that in 2027, Coors 0.0 is joining the market. So we know, obviously, given I am sober and in recovery, that I drink the 0.0. I'm excited about Coors 0.0, and we're getting ready for the summer with World Cup with Coors Light, and of course, we'll be taking in some Angels games with fellow fans at ESPN LA.
Hey, Bergie, just the part, though, I think that's like a reset,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I put a good bow on everything. I think we're good.
Yeah.
We did it. We put a bow on it.
I like
So
the
let's get to
we'll
get to sports here now.
Oh,
There you go, Cappy.
21.73. You got your stopwatch on your phone, huh? That's pretty good hang time, is what that is right there.
That was impressive.
Yeah, not bad.
I didn't think you'd make it past like 7 seconds. So you went 3 times longer than I thought.
Hey, it's pretty good lung support right there, is what that
I
is.
would agree. Look at that. Those are the lungs of an athlete.
Yeah,
All right, now
that's right.
Let's tackle what Beadle said about Luka, because I thought that kind of stuck out to me. Right?
Would you
Where she
reset
doesn't
it?
believe-
Reset it for everybody, because I really do think, George, that it's something that Evan Cohen brought up yesterday.
Right.
That you sort of immediately jumped on as like, no, and I was like, maybe. Go ahead.
Well, he said trade Luka, which I thought was ridiculous.
He said eventually you have that.
Yeah, but you're not doing that. You're not You're not getting him falling from the sky and then trading him.
Why not?
Like you're not.
Well, not right now, but like I think what his point was is that if you were 3-4 years out from now, and the Lakers were not able to get over on the Spurs and the Thunder, and you wanted to reset with draft picks and you wanted to go younger, that at least you have an asset. That was his point.
I mean, right, but their GM has literally told you they're not doing that. And this ownership group, I don't buy, would do that either, okay? This new ownership group. So that's why I feel like that's just a wasted conversation. But what Beadle brought up, I think, now that's interesting, okay? She says she doesn't believe Luka has it, right? Like to be the guy that could actually be the one to lead you to a championship. Now, he's got the stats. She's not wrong about that. But what we did see against the Boston Celtics in his one finals appearance, he got picked on. You thought James Harden got picked on yesterday? Well, Luka got that treatment against the Boston Celtics, okay? And in essence, so much so that our buddy Windy, who's going to join us at 9 o'clock, called him out for it nationally, and it became a big story, okay? Now, if you look at some of the guys who have won championships, okay, who aren't necessarily what I would call, all NBA style defenders, right? Two-way type players. Guys like Shea, but you would say he competes on defense and is actually pretty good at it at times, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. The Boston Celtics have two-way players. Tatum and Brown, their best players, both play defense. Nikola Jokic, okay, was a guy that a few years ago you could take advantage of defensively. But leading up to the year that they won the championship in 2023 was no longer that. He was no longer a net negative on defense. As a matter of fact, he became a net positive defensively. And they won a championship. Steph Curry. Now, they won championships, but if you look at the 2016 finals, he got picked on in that series. And then after that, he started to defend at least. He didn't become, an elite level defender, but he was a guy that you couldn't necessarily pick on as much in the subsequent years. They also had Kevin Durant, which was helpful. But really the year I look at with Steph Curry, where he was probably at his best defensively, while albeit, probably still average defensively. Average is still good enough, in my opinion, when you carry that offensive burden, was in 2022 when they beat the Boston Celtics. And I think what the story that I'm trying to tell here is, if you're Luka Dončić, and this is not some sort of revelation, people have said this forever, you have to at least try defensively. I know John Ireland tried to make the case this year that, there's these like cherry-pick stats that you could say that he is equal to Amen Thompson and Jaden McDaniels in the post or whatever. You know what? James Harden had those same cherry-pick stats when he was with Houston. And we still saw that James Harden was getting picked on for years on the perimeter, which is really where the game is played the most now. Okay? So I think that for the Lakers to take that next step, if whether they bring back LeBron or not, or whether Austin is part of this team, or they have the three, or they do it with Austin and Luka, and they bring in different guys, this is going to begin and end with Luka Dončić no longer being a net negative on defense. He has to at least be average to a net positive defensively, and until he does that, the Lakers will not be a team that can win a championship, at least as currently constituted, against the likes of OKC or San Antonio.
Yeah, look, I'm going to still go back to what Wendy said last week. He'll join us at the top of the hour when we move over to YouTube. Wendy said, you want me to get really, really raw on you guys? And we're like, yeah, get raw, Wendy. And he said, it doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to be able to overcome San Antonio and Oklahoma City in the foreseeable future. Now, that being said, Luka got criticized a lot this year because not only does he not play good defense, there are many times where he spent his time bitching and complaining to the referees on one end of the floor, which meant that the opposing team was on the power play on the other end of the floor. So first and foremost, once Luka started to receive that criticism nationally, it did change a little bit. And I'm not saying that it was just because he heard what the media was saying. I'm sure that JJ and the coaching staff were imploring him, bro, please stop complaining to the referees and making it 5-on-4, even if you're just a body down on the defensive end. Now it's at least 5-on-5. George, listen, we hear about a guy like Wemby who goes and visits with Hakeem Olajuwon as an example.
And Kevin Garnett, by the way. I looked that up the other day, too. Yeah, he also met with Kevin Garnett, which is great.
So great. And then there are other guys that are like, hey, this guy's an expert at free throw shooting. This guy is an expert at three-point shooting. Whatever. You find these coaches. I don't know who it is in the NBA world that is considered like the defensive guru that can individually coach, no different than your chef or your personal trainer. There's got to be guys out there. I don't know who they are, but I assure you they exist. You might know. I don't. Who is the guy that is known as the defensive guru that can meet with Austin Reeves and with Luka this summer and say, guys, you're excellent offensive players. Everybody already knows that. You've got to work on your defense. And it's not as if they're not athletic enough. I realize they may not be the greatest athletes in comparison to LeBron or Shea as examples, but they've got to be able to be coached into finding a way to play a decent level of defense. Do you know of a guy who's that person? Do you know of that? Who's a defensive stopper specialist that people hire? And I'm putting you on the spot. You may not, but
you're saying the inverse of it.
I don't know what inverse means.
So are you asking me, was there a person who was a great defender who then became a better offensive player?
No, I'm asking you, is there a person that is considered a great defensive player that works with players who are not very good defensive players to help them get better? Like for example, when you hear...
Oh, you're saying like an old head
right,
type.
Like for example, Kurt Warner, the former Rams quarterback, he works with lots of NFL quarterbacks. He helps raise NFL quarterbacks. During the season, he watches film. He analyzes. He talks to these guys. He'll get on the field with them. He'll work on footwork stuff. Is there that kind of a guy who is a former NBA player who's known as a guy that people would call for consultation about defense?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. But look, I just think in professional sports, let's relay this to the Dodgers. Bergman, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a big believer in sports, in baseball. We'll use baseball as the example, right? Your best players on your baseball team, I think, need to be two-way players. Guys that you know are going to be good at the plate and are going to be able to defend their position at the very least at a high level, if not at an elite level, like a silver slugger type guy, right? Like a golden glove type guy. I think your best players need to have some combination of that. Obviously in baseball, there's the old adage of you need to be strong up the middle, okay? Which is why Mookie Betts got moved to shortstop, right? And he struggled a little bit early on, but towards the end of last season, I mean, really for the majority of last season, I thought he did a really good job. I mean, he had, what is the stat they used to measure
defensive run save.
Run
DRS,
saved.
yep.
He was number one, was he not? I believe, or in the top
yes,
three,
he was in the top one.
at his position?
It was either first or second, but I think he was first.
Right, exactly. To me, in all of sports, you have to be able to defend your position. Now, football's different, obviously, because they have offense and defense. But in two-way sports, Freddie Freeman, look, the three best player for the Dodgers in some capacity, right? The way they built this team as to be, these were the three guys, the three pillars, right? It was Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman, right? They acquired those guys at different stages. All three of those guys are excellent at multiple things. They are multifaceted players, and that is the thing with the Lakers. They're going to need Luka to be more multifaceted, and that means defense if they ultimately want to get over the hump and try to beat these two behemoths in front of them.
And then they better get guys like Will Smith, because you've got your big three with the Dodgers, but a guy like Will Smith is a great player on both sides of the ball.
He's one of the best catchers in baseball defensively.
Correct.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You need to build this thing the right way. And luckily for the Lakers, the people who built the Dodgers are also involved with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Funchy, for holding up that beautiful picture. 8:54, time to talk about our friend Jacob Emrani.
Oh, yeah, listen, man. The reality is this, okay? Jacob Emrani is here to help all of you Angelinos out there. And a lot of us spend half the day in a car, heading to work, picking somebody up, listening to Sedano and Kap or Mason and Ireland or Travis and DeMarco or Lakers talk or whatever, sitting on the 405, wondering why we even left so early, Cappy.
And that's when a car accident hits from out of nowhere, right? Bam! It throws everything off, your schedule, your money, your body, your mind, all of it. And dealing with the insurance company after that, honestly, can be like a massive headache on its own. So, George, that's why we encourage everybody to call Jacob Emrani.
Yeah. Call Jacob because he's helped people across Southern California after serious accidents, and they know how to step in and, take the pressure off. So call him at 800-345-6789 or calljacob.com online. That's calljacob.com for a free consultation, no obligation case review, and no fee unless we win, Jack. That's 800-345-6789. Or visit them online at calljacob.com. Call Jacob, a proud sponsor of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Thank you, Sedano. 8:55. We get ready for the Rich Eisen Show terrestrially on 7:10 a.m.
Hit that button. Hit that tile on the app right now, too, if you don't want to go into the YouTube chat with the minions.
In the YouTube chat at ESPN Los Angeles and the Sedano and Kap tile, we continue with Windy on a Windy Wednesday right here on ESPN LA.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Next time you're at my home away from home, LAX, look up. You'll see the future of travel in action. It's the all-electric Skylink train. It's now testing, and trust me, this is a game changer. What does it take to build a champion? It takes round-the-clock preparation. And soon, Skylink will connect you to the airport terminals, the new rental car center, and LA Metro. From practice to prime time, the LAX Skylink. Fast, free, and built for LA. In testing now to help you skip the traffic later.
Memorial Day weekend checklist, sunscreen, check. Snacks, check. Road trip playlist, check. Now, when's the last time you checked your oil? Before you hit the road, head to Valvoline Instant Oil Change for a fast 15-minute stay-in-your-car oil change, and no appointment is ever needed. Plus, they'll check your fluids, battery, wipers, and more, so you can worry less about your car and focus more on the weekend ahead. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a special offer and your nearest location. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and road trip approved.
Looking for a vodka with standards? Blue Ice delivers. American-made from Idaho potatoes, gluten-free, non-GMO, and only 64 calories an ounce. Enjoy the classic Huckleberry with lemonade or award-winning double espresso. Blue Ice vodka, premium taste, nothing extra.
Hey, Ty Pennington here, back teaming up with Pechanga Resort Casino to give away another brand new house. Imagine yourself in an amazing, fully furnished, multi-million-dollar home in beautiful Orange County. All you need to do is play your favorite slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino. It's that easy. Visit Pechanga every Saturday to activate your entries for a chance to win a lucky key to the May 30th grand finale. I'll see you there.
What if I told you the next great story in Los Angeles isn't happening on the court, it's happening in Glendale? Hi, it's Momo, Ramona Shelburne. At Hyundai of Glendale, it's not just a grand opening, it's a fresh start. Right now, lease a brand new 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE for just $299 a month. Comes with owner's assurance and America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call 818-222-8000 or check them out, HyundaiofGlendale.net.
$299 per month plus tax. Close in lease for 24 months. $43.99 cash due from customer plus $500 lease cash. $48.99 due at signing. Plus government fees and tax. Unapproved above average credit through HMS no security deposit. 7,500 miles per year. 20 cents per excess miles. Expires 5/31/26.
The personalities you know.
This season, considering how the hell it went, not a failure. They missed LeBron for the first 14 games. He had no preseason. They lose Austin for 5 weeks. Then he eventually comes back.
The personalities you know, the teams you love, the station you spend time with every day. LA's mega sports station. ESPN LA 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app.
You have your vote by mail ballot. Now it's time to vote. Drop it off early at any official ballot drop box. Visit plan.lavote.gov to learn more. That's plan.lavote.gov. Brought to you by the Los Angeles County Registrar.
The NFL schedule dropped, and it is time to settle up, people. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle. All the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
Evan Cohen here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station. It's Windy Wednesdays on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Cappy, one of my favorite songs of all time, when they got together and sang All for Love, man. From the Three Musketeers soundtrack. Remember the Three Musketeers?
Yes.
That's kind of like you, me, and Sedano, but when Brian Windhorst is here, my Columbo brother,
right,
it becomes Windy, Cappy, and Sedano, which I'm okay with.
You are?
They are the Three Musketeers on Wednesdays. Good morning, Brian Windhorst.
Where would Brian Windhorst be in line at your wedding to dance with you?
To this song, Morales. I want to dance with you to this song.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. We won't look each other in the eye.
It's Windy Wednesdays.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on the air.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history.
Don't the Rams say bleep them picks?
Yes.
Isn't
That was a long time ago. Different now. Now they're good at the picks.
Yeah, but didn't they do that and win the Super Bowl?
They did.
This is a bleep them picks trade.
Yeah, what was it?
Horn-chins.
Yeah,
Horn-chin.
Sedano is a guy who's like, hey, I've been around the NBA 20 years. I can draw plays up on the board. I can do
God.
What do you mean, oh, God? What do you mean?
A little sabor?
Yeah, I don't think people like being called hacks.
You're the güero on the radio.
No. Giant Mexican, horn section.
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
Give me a freaking break.
I'm reacting to Art Bell.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Do you want to do the Love Boat, or do you want me to do the Love Boat?
The Art, I don't even know what you're talking
about. No, here it is. Ready? Watch this.
It's Windy Wednesdays.
Midnight in the desert. I'm Art Bell.
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, you want to
Bit boy.
Monstrous.
Beto, I don't want to eat that. We did it, Dad. We did it.
We were riding high on the stinger last time.
Oh, big time.
Right, that's right. Of course we were.
It's Windy Wednesdays on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Oh, just one more thing.
Ninth pitch, Pages. Slams one to right center field. Tatis back, makes the catch. Here comes Cole. Here's the throw. Relay to the plate. Not in time. Dodgers take the lead.
9:02 and 30 seconds. Good morning, the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a windy Wednesday on this 20th of May, 2026. Dodgers with a huge win last night in San Diego over those Padres, those stinking gutless bum Padres. And also,
not a rival.
How about this?
I'm okay with you calling them a gutless bum.
How about this for the Cleveland Cavaliers? A choke last night. And with that, we bring on the one and only Brian Windhorst, live from After First Take, his appearance in New York City. And Wendy, we bring you on just to be able, well, you're going to talk basketball too, and everything else. But
Second take.
You can hear this right now. And Wendy on camera, too, and we love that on YouTube. Now, before we get into everything, before I hand it off for NBA ball knower extreme Sedano and you to talk about basketball, I just want to say this to you, Wendy, my Colombo brother. You would be proud because I just filled out and paid my $45 for TSA confirmed. And you are absolutely right. What a scam. You don't even, it's not like a background check. You literally put your name and then you print out the $45 receipt. That's it. That's all it is.
God.
That's right.
That would have helped me so much. Wendy, you don't even understand. I left my daughter's college graduation in New Orleans on Monday morning. I swear to God, I was in the airport at 5
New Orleans is infamous.
Okay.
Infamous.
Brian, 5 a.m. in the morning, right? And we get to the airport, and there are security lines out the door. My kids are freaking out. If I would have listened to you last week and just bought the $45 TSA thing, I would have had all my kids through security in the snap of a finger. But instead, it took like an hour to get through security. Hey, New Orleans, have you ever heard of Mardi Gras? Have you ever heard of the Super Bowl, the Sugar Bowl? You people, you thought that there was nobody in town for all these graduations? Anyway, you got me off
that airport in New Orleans. Anyway, with that, Wendy, you look great in that beautiful suit this morning on First Take.
Thank you, sir. Do you like how here at ESPN New York we have ESPN red on the walls?
Yeah.
Like this is how they're so synergy that they want ESPN red in every room.
I like synergistic
there's
stuff.
A branding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, if you go to Bristol, there's still some buildings that have all that red and the ESPN stitching in the carpets. If you go there still.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing about when you're here in New York is that you never know when you may run into WWE wrestlers milling through the halls here.
Oh yeah, I saw Wendy with Danhausen yesterday.
Yeah, who was that vampire guy you were with?
That's Danhausen that I was talking about a couple weeks ago.
Right.
How is he like super duper? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. We spent 45 minutes in the green room, Lindsay. Is he like a superstar?
So he recently came over from Tony Khan's promotion, AEW. He was signed like not even 6 months ago. And he's got this gimmick where he just talks funny and he tells people, "You are cursed." And he's just like a quirky guy. And he's similar to like Doink the Clown.
I was just going to say, this feels very Dink and Doinkish the Clown.
Totally.
Yes.
And he's like, everybody loves him because he's funny. And I'm sure his gimmick will wear thin soon, but he's very funny and he's super hot at the moment because he's new to WWE.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say two things. One, he walks around with a jar of teeth.
Yes, that's true.
Wasn't a fan of that. I'm just not going to.
Now, wait a second. Can you explain? Does that mean like those are his teeth or what is that supposed to, what's the gimmick?
Teeth of people he's vanquished or something.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, you're worried he's going to take some of yours?
And the teeth have like fillings and stuff in them. I want to talk about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he also cursed the Cavs yesterday.
He did. He definitely did.
He definitely cursed the Cavs yesterday. By the way, speaking of wrestlers, have you seen this thing that's gone viral on the internet in like one of these like smaller promotions where there's this character, the guy plays a character called Jesus and he's dressed like Jesus and he doesn't actually touch the wrestlers. He literally like just moves his hands and like they flip and they'll like, it is, you have to find this online. It is absolutely hilarious. It looks like, like kind of like Star Wars, like Darth Vader does like the choke thing where he actually is not choking you, but like he'll move you like with the Force. It is very similar to that. It is absolutely wild to watch these wrestlers act with the way the guy's hands are moving.
Oh, that's funny. That I want to see. Now, what about that other wrestler, Wendy, that you were on First Take with this morning? That older guy who goes crazy. I think his name is Mad Dog. He's also a WWE character, right?
I love the dog.
Yeah.
You're not getting me to say anything bad about the dog.
No, he's awesome.
Okay.
He's great.
I love the dog.
Yep.
I tell you what, I love Wendy, okay? Wendy Wednesdays on that Sedano and Kaplan show. I love that show.
It's your best one, George. That's your best one, no doubt about it. So Wendy, obviously we started today's show talking about what happened last night between the Knicks and the Cavs. And, I mean, dude, I was on the phone with friends. We were watching the game, and I'm like, this game is so boring. It is so unentertaining. It is not competitive. And then all of a sudden, the Knicks go on this crazy run. So are you crediting the Knicks for the run, or are you saying that the Cavs choked?
Yeah, it's both. If you watched what happened in this game, I mean, here's the thing. You guys have all watched a lot of basketball. You know that when you blow a basketball lead, it's never one thing. You may lose a game. The actual losing or game-winning play may come down to a hero and a GOAT, but it's never like that. It always requires – first off, I'm going to tell you right now, there's always a missed free throw. just going to tell you that. You want to go back to any collapse in the history of the sport, there's always a missed free throw. George, the 2013 series in Miami.
Yeah. 2 missed free
Ginobili
throws.
missed a free throw. Kawhi missed a free throw. There's always missed free throws. The Cavs missed 3 free throws, 3 very important free throws in that situation. That's just an example of things that happen. It was Jalen Brunson being great. Jalen Brunson was, he hit 7 shots in the fourth quarter. He was absolutely super clutch. He hit them. He had driving layups. He had mid-range shots. He had threes. That happened. The Cavs did nothing on offense. This is a team that's a very good offensive team, top 6-7 offensive team.
6-7.
Top 6-7 offensive team in the league. Top probably 3-ish offensive team in the playoffs. They were awesome throughout 3 quarters. They quit playing offense down the stretch. When you watch the highlights, you won't see any of that because it's boring. But they just quit running offense. They were running one-pass possessions, taking a contested 3. They were foul baiting. It was the worst. And the Knicks get credit for that because they turned up their defense. All of those things happened. James Harden was getting absolutely toasted. He wasn't directly guarding Brunson. He was guarding the other guard, and they would just. And again, you're not going to see that on the highlight, but they switched it. It wasn't. They just switched wherever Brunson was guarding. Brunson could have been guarding, or Harden could have been guarding the popcorn guy. They would have brought the popcorn guy down to set a screen. I don't even think they have popcorn guys at the Garden, but whatever. You get my point. And they forced the situation. And the Cavs sat there with 4 timeouts. And, when you are struggling on offense and you can't get into your offense, especially when you just quit running stuff, and you have a problem on your defensive coverages, the baseline thing that you do in the NBA is you do what?
When you have what again? Sorry.
If you can't get into your offense,
right,
and you've got a major coverage problem on defense, what is the first thing that you do?
You got a major coverage, you go to zone.
Well, you call timeout.
Oh, well,
You call timeout. You call timeout, and then you say, okay, we're getting toasted on defense, so we're gonna change our coverage.
Right.
And by the way, when we get the ball on offense, we're gonna run this play. Okay, that's what you do. And maybe the play doesn't work, and maybe the new coverage doesn't even work, but you can't do the same thing over and over. They ran the same essentially isolation play, I believe, on 6 or 7 straight possessions. Brunson scored on, I think they ran 8 straight isolations, and Brunson scored on 7 of them.
Why?
Well, here's the other thing I would say. The Cavs really started taking the air out of the ball, like with about 7 minutes to go. Like they were draining the clock. It was like, what are you doing? And they were settling for these bad jumpers at the end of the shot clock. All these Evan Mobley threes. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it just made none of what they did made any sense. Donovan Mitchell, I believe the score was, I want to say, still just barely double digits. Had a chance at a layup and then kicked it out. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like granted, the Harden thing is going to be the thing people focus on. The Kenny Atkinson thing, understandably, is something that people are going to focus on. But all of them played a role in this.
Yeah, and they also got tired. They were tired. The fatigue thing kicked in, and they got dead-legged. And the thing is, the most timeouts you can possibly have going into the fourth quarter is 4. Okay. If you don't call any of those timeouts at the 3-minute mark, a timeout, the timeouts are taken away. The most timeouts you can have in the last 3 minutes is 2. That's why you often see, even if a team doesn't need a timeout, in the 3-minute zone, you will see a coach call it because it's always good to give your players a breather, and it's always good to draw up a play. Always. I mean, obviously, if you're in a fast break situation and you've got a 3-on-1 break and there's 3:05 left, you're not calling a timeout there.
Well, by the way, Mike Brown was criticized earlier these playoffs for doing something similar to that you just described.
They call it the use it or lose it timeout. Well, the Cavs had 2 of them in their pocket. And all of these things were happening, and they would call timeout. And Kenny Atkinson was asked after the game, and he said, I like to save my timeouts for the end of game. And he's been criticized for that. In a vacuum, that's correct. You always want to have the maximum 2 timeouts in the last 3 minutes. 1, in case you need to draw up a play, and 2, in case you need to challenge. which the Cavs had not challenged. So I absolutely agree that you should try to save the 2 timeouts if you can. However, he had 4.
Mm-hmm.
He had 4 timeouts.
Yeah, why didn't anybody follow up and say, well, you had 4?
I don't know, Lindsay.
I mean,
what do you want me to say?
Well, how about like an assistant coach on the bench going, "Hey, coach, we got these extra timeouts here,"
or even the players, right?
And all of a sudden, it's
Cappy,
turned into
I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you, it was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. The referees know they can feel in a game when they think there should be a timeout. They look at the coach.
They're starting to look constantly.
They're not normally looking at the coach, but when Brunson keeps scoring, now the Cavs bench is behind the Knicks, so when they're turning up the court, they're looking at the Cavs bench, expecting to get a timeout. I'm sure everybody in the building said they're going to call timeout.
Right.
I'm sure the Knicks City Dancers or whoever was next up in the timeout rotation was on the balls
ready
of
to go.
Their feet, ready
Let's
to
go,
come
coach.
in.
Timeout. I want to dance.
Everybody thought there was a timeout coming. No timeout came.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Wendy. Cleveland had a very rough 7-game series against Detroit, and New York had a very easy 4-game series over Philadelphia. So when George and I were talking about this game yesterday, I said, well, I think that Cleveland will come out hot, and eventually New York will shake off the rust, and they'll win the game. I didn't expect it to go down when I was watching it that way. But to me, this is kind of one of those demoralizing choke jobs.
Oh, my God.
That just buries a team before the series even gets started. How do you feel about that?
Maybe. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I hate to launch into my credos, my speeches, but one of the speeches that I always talk about is that in the NBA there's always time, and that
like
it's
your
like
son
one of the
said
core,
on the Hoop Collective podcast.
because he's heard me say it many times, that there's always time. The NBA basketball games, series, seasons are very, very long, and there's always time for redemption. And the Knicks proved that point last night, even down 22. I realize that it doesn't always happen, but the point is that the time is usually available. And so what I would just say is, this is one of the reasons why I never overreact to a series after game 1. In 6 days, you could say that the Knicks could win this series 4-0 or 4-1, and you could say, well, I told you it was over after game 1, and I would say, okay, you're right, congratulations. But the Cavs are 8-7. They've played 15 playoff games. They're 8-7. Okay, that's not a historically great team. That's a flawed team. They have had several very difficult losses in this postseason. They had a game where R.J. Barrett from the Raptors shot the ball and it bounced around the rim 3 times and fell in. They lost that game at the buzzer. They were down 2-0 to the Pistons in the last round. They were up 3-2 with a chance to clinch on their home court, and they laid a total egg, and then they bounced back and won game 7. So, yeah, I agree. It looked like a gut punch and something that could really linger, but I will just say there's always time. And the Cavs did play very good basketball on Sunday, and they played about 18 minutes of very, very good basketball last night. And if they do that again in game 2, they could get the win. It could be 1-1.
So, Brian, I've had them more than anyone this season, okay? Of any single team that I've had games with this year, they've been the team at the top. And I felt like that game was the perfect example of who they've been all year, where in one game you saw who they've been the entire season, where they've had that 18-minute stretch you talked about of like nearly flawless basketball, and then other stretches where it's a complete, utter disaster. And they don't look like they even know each other, let alone have played basketball together. And I just think because of that, the Knicks, for whatever it's worth, have been fairly connected, and I at least in the playoffs. And I think a lot of that is Mike Brown and Karl Anthony Towns have figured out Karl Anthony Towns' role, at least on this particular team. You know this as well as anyone. Karl Towns was not thrilled about the way he was utilized for most of this season, and now he looks like Magic Johnson out there. As a matter of fact, he wears 32 because Magic is his favorite player, he says. So, they have utilized him in a way that I think has allowed them to have this level of success. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is the engine there. But they have figured that out, and I think the rest of the pieces have been able to kind of fit around him because of the way they figured out Towns.
Yeah, and I will just say, yes, everything you said is correct. when they got desperate yesterday, they junked that offense. they went to just straight Brunson, pick and roll isolation basketball. And so, I think the Cavs had a plan for how to manage that Towns situation. Actually, one of the things that they did, they allowed James Harden to be on Towns, because one of the things about the new Towns offense is that when Towns gets the ball, Iman Shumpert, my colleague here at ESPN, former Cav, former Knick actually too, he calls it the cat scan, where Towns gets the ball and he just holds it up over his head like a palm,
with
and
the one hand,
he scans and he looks for cutters or whatever. And the point is he's not really moving. So the Cavs are like, that sounds like a great idea to put Harden on him because he doesn't have to move. And Harden is, 6'6", and can use his size a little bit. And so actually that was kind of effective. And so Towns did have 5 assists. He still had somewhat of an impactful game. He was having double-digit assists against the Sixers, and he might have 12 assists tomorrow night. But it was actually interesting that the Cavs had a plan for that involved James Harden. And, I wouldn't say it neutralized it, but obviously they built a 22-point lead, dealing with it. But, I will say this. This is the 4th time in the last, I think, 3 years that the Knicks have been down 20 in a playoff game and won.
Wow.
You remember those 2 games against the Celtics last year, games 1 and 2 of that series, where the Celtics were heavily favored up in Boston. The Knicks were down 20 and came back and won those games. Brunson, his style of play and the way the Knicks can defend lends itself to the ability to make big comebacks. So if you're looking for a reason to believe in this Knicks team, not only have they figured out some things offensively, but they have routinely shown that 20 points is not something they can't overcome. They are a team that you have to kill. Yeah. And the Cavs may have learned that lesson a little bit too late, but who I would advise, if the Knicks do get 3 more wins, who might face them in the finals, that they should be aware of that.
Yeah. Hey, George, you want to talk about the Western Conference Finals with Lindy? Well, I'm good. Before we do, hey, Lindsay, I'm being told by Royce Toney, who is one of our all-time greatest of great Sedano and Kap fans. He says that we've buried the lead here today. Apparently, this wrestler, Danhausen, lifted a curse of the Knicks a few weeks ago, Wendy. I don't know if you know this or not. And the Knicks have not lost a game since. Now, just wanted to wrap that part of this up.
I don't know about
Did you guys know about this?
No. I didn't know
Wendy, you didn't talk to Danhausen about this?
I was briefed on all of this, yes.
Okay, you were briefed. Okay,
yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Because that
was briefed like a presidential.
I was with Danhausen for 45 minutes.
Okay, and he told you he lifted the curse of the Knicks.
I was briefed.
Okay, briefed. All right.
By the way, really enjoyed my time with him. I couldn't be more crystal clear. Love Danhausen.
Right, because you don't want to be on his bad side.
I didn't say anything.
Yes.
I said I love him.
All right.
Hey, great guy. Great, very accomplished wrestler. Love his character. Couldn't say enough good things.
All right. I understand that.
Didn't like the jar of teeth.
Understood. I mean, you said that already, and he's got teeth marks all over his costume. Going over to the Western Conference, though, when I look at what San Antonio was able to do, and I think back to the regular season, the number of times that these two teams played and the number of times that San Antonio won. I think they won 4 of 5 total.
In the regular season.
So I feel like everybody's opinion changed. Like, I watched Oklahoma City against the Lakers and went, they're insurmountable. And then I watched San Antonio play them and I go, I think San Antonio is going to win this series. I feel like everybody's tone changed after game 1 of that series. What do you say?
Well, again, what do I say? I say don't overreact to game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I say there's always time. Now, again, in 10 days, you may say, I told you I was over, you fool. And I might say, hey, you're right. Congratulations. You're a genius. Run for president. I will say this. J.J. Redick had a fingerprint or 2 on that game.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that the idea never would have come to Mitch Johnson. Oh, should we double team Shea? Oh, my God, a genius. But the Lakers, what they did to Shea was a bit of a roadmap. If you look at Shea's numbers over the 4 games against the Lakers, and you add in the game on Monday night, those are not MVP numbers. He's compared to his regular season numbers, he's down like 8 points a game. His shooting percentage is down. His free throw rate is down. That throwing the bodies at Shea, has proven to slow him down. Now he's not scoring 2 points a game. He's still getting into the 20s, but this is a guy who's averaged 30 for I think 4 years running, and he's averaged I think 22 against the Lakers and the Spurs. So I actually think that might be a bigger deal than what Victor did. Now I know if you look at Victor's numbers and you see 41 points and 24 rebounds, you say unstoppable force, give him the next 7 titles. I actually think that the Thunder did a reasonable job on him defensively. And I hear people, I kind of got into, a good-natured argument with Iman Shumpert and Danny Green yesterday because they were calling for more Chet Holmgren on him. And I think the way they defended him, basically with wings, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, I actually think was strategically acceptable because in regulation in the 4 quarters, he was 9 of 19 for 27 points. Now he had 17 rebounds in regulation. He had 7 offensive rebounds in regulation. That's harmful. And he was getting his offensive rebounds because he's a foot taller than the guys defending him. But you're going to give up some of that. 9 of 19 for 27 is very, very survivable. He got to 41 because he scored 12 of the last 16 points. He hit the 3-pointer, then he made 9 points in the second overtime where he somehow had more energy than everybody. I think it's a bigger deal that Shea is underachieving from his normal numbers. And yes, Alex Caruso was unguarded and he hit 8 threes, and I wouldn't bet on him hitting 8 threes tonight. But it could be other players who hit those threes. But the Thunder have been limited in their dominance because Shea has been limited in his dominance, and the Lakers kind of gave the pathway. The Spurs just happen to have better personnel and the 7'5" guy to put in as the ultimate trump card on the back line. But this is becoming a bit of a thing with Shea right now.
I would also add that the Thunder in the first half were 5 of 17 on uncontested threes on Shea double team.
Absolutely.
And I think, because when I talked to Mark Dagnall at halftime, Brian, of the game, I said, hey, what do you make of your shot profile? He says, not the issue. He said, we've had good looks. It's just a matter of knocking them down. And then I saw the SIG note about it after I was done talking to him because that was just off observation that they had missed so many threes. And that was the case. I will say this, the beauty, and you – I generally, when you're at a series I'm at, I will text you things that I think are interesting that I see in the huddles. And there were 2 things that stood out to me in that game. The first one was from the Spurs, okay? De'Aaron Fox was talking to Wemby about how to manage the Caruso defense on Wemby and how they were talking entry passes with him. And when they did that, it definitely helped, at least the ability for him to get the ball because Caruso was obviously, chopping him down basically, for lack of a better phrase. The other thing that I think that stood out was also involving Alex Caruso, and it was in an Oklahoma City Thunder huddle, which was probably late in the first quarter, maybe early second. And Alex Caruso gathered the troops and was like, yo, come here. He's like, Stephon Castle. He goes, we're not giving him any presentation defensively. We're allowing him to go one-on-one. He is their highest turnover ratio guy. We need to show a better presentation, show him more bodies, force him to move the ball. He will turn it over. So at that point, he only had the 1 turnover. Then he had 10 more after that. It was just fascinating to kind of watch the high-level IQ of the discussion, even before the coach gets into the huddle, of what these guys are made of and what these teams are made of, from their veterans to their young players to the way they interact. And I've done this now for several years. To me, it is as good a series to be involved in as any as I've done previously because of the level of conversation I'm able to observe in these huddles.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Lakers are not still playing because of their, overall roster health / talent deficiency compared to the Thunder and Spurs, not because of J.J. Redick's game plan and in-game strategies. And, I think that, when you face a great player, you may go good on good and just get beat, and you have to accept that. What you don't want to do is feel like you are at a deficit against a great team because your team isn't prepared or your team isn't given the best opportunity during a game. The Cavs last night can say that they didn't give the best effort. They did give themselves the best chance because they didn't handle their business well in the game. I don't think you can say that about the Lakers, at least in that playoff series with the Thunder.
You want me to get raw?
Real quick.
Like really, really raw? They can't win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Lakers can't do anything against these San Antonio and Oklahoma City.
Do you also want to get really, really raw? Wendy, I think somebody from the Spurs is next door to me in this hotel. And I heard conversations that I felt like I know it's their hotel. And so I'm careful of what to say because I heard someone just come back into the room now. How many times has that happened to you on the road where you know you're at the team hotel and you are careful of what you have to say upon one of your appearances?
I don't stay at the night. You stay at way nicer hotels than I do. If you want the real, I would never stay at a team hotel because I don't stay at that level of hotel. I don't have that level of sway at the company.
Wow.
Give me a break. You're a Titanium Life member.
Well, yeah. I mean, after all of your travel tips last week, I figured you'd know how to get them for
Marriott's,
free.
Lindsay? They don't stay at Marriott's.
Oh, okay. Well, it's also Ritz-Carlton's part of the family.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd easily be able to stay
I'm not on
there.
that level.
Wow.
Yeah, but I will say that it's interesting. This is like that how that reporter overheard Barry Bonds' grand jury testimony, TJ Quinn.
Yeah,
you know that story?
Right. No.
Yes.
Grand jury testimonies are super duper secret.
Yeah.
And TJ Quinn was like in the hallway waiting to like interview the lawyers or whatever, and he like leaned up against the doorway, and somehow that doorway had a thin wall, and he heard Barry Bonds testify in front of the grand jury and then reported on it, and like the judge and everybody freaked out because it was accurate. It's because he leaned up against the right wall. He's told this is not a secret. He's told this story. But George, like if you hear like Spurs game plan tactics, like this could be very, very important.
Yeah.
Lindsay actually tried to get George to take a glass from the bar in his hotel room and put it up against the wall.
All I heard was scheduling stuff. I didn't hear anything about it.
But you know that I got cursed out for being overheard at 5 a.m. in Phoenix.
On Get Up. Yeah, I've heard that story.
Yeah,
yes.
5 a.m. in Phoenix, and the woman, it was a woman, just to be clear, screamed at me at 5:20 a.m. to
through
shut
the wall?
The F up.
Through the wall.
Through the wall.
Okay.
Can you give us an impression really quick before you go of what she sounded like?
I'm not going to yell, but I want to be clear. She screamed. Screamed.
Shut the F up.
Yes.
Basketball
and I started
boy.
talking much quieter. And by the way, I was in a room at the end. I was in a suite at the end of the hallway. I took all precautions possible, and it did not matter.
You are bougie, Wendy.
Shut the F up, basketball boy. I don't care.
Screamed it. And I started talking lower, and the producers in Greenberg was like, hey,
we
speak
can't hear
up.
you.
And I was like, well.
You know, I got one more travel outrage, Wendy.
Okay.
And I'll make this quick because I know you got to go. I'm in Sedano class today for this flight. And United Sedano class charges me still $10 extra for Wi-Fi. That's an outrage.
If you're a United member, you only
I'm not.
charge $8.
I'm not.
Well, just sign up and you save $2.
Guess what? The plane ticket wasn't enough to give me free Wi-Fi in Sedano class.
Boy, they're going to nickel and dime you, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an outrage, Wendy.
It is.
Save $2. Sign up for United Miles.
Wendy, you have any idea
can't
how to
even
get
drink
free Wi-Fi?
$10 worth of liquor.
Exactly.
Right. Right. You should trade it. Hey, I won't drink, but give me the Wi-Fi.
And give me 20 Diet Cokes, you sickos. All right, Wendy, have a great day. We love you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Wendy.
All right. There he is.
Say hi to Danhausen.
Yeah. All right. Find out about that Knicks curse that was lifted. Danhausen guy's pretty powerful.
I do remember that that day on Get Up. It
Really?
went viral.
We don't need Danhausen to curse the Cavs. They're already cursed. Every team in Cleveland is.
Come on, Cavs.
What if he lifted the curse?
I don't care.
I don't care. Because you already know. Because you know what's
I would have paid money to have you awake yesterday just to have your live reaction.
No, I
That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing.
I would have turned it off. And you know what's funny is, like I said, I went to bed when.
What time?
They were. I don't remember.
But I mean, because the game was over by like 8 p.m.
I know, but I usually go to bed at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it was. It was probably the collapse started to happen.
I did not witness any part of the collapse.
Yeah, so it was probably like 7:30. Yeah, around then is when the collapse
Pretty crazy.
started.
I mean, going to sleep that early when your Cavs are playing. I mean, the nice part about it for us is
I was really, really, really tired.
No, but don't you see like for the West Coast people, these East Coast games are beautiful. Whereas the West Coast games for the East Coast people don't work because if a West Coast game starts at, call it 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But for us, that game started at 5 p.m. yesterday.
I know,
so it was
but
over
again,
by 8
I
o'clock.
usually go to bed at like 6, 7. This is the text I woke up to from my dad. This was the first thing I saw. This is about as bad of a loss all time, ranking up there with some World Series losses. You wonder why I am the way I am, not watching or listening anymore. I am really done. Done. I wasn't going to watch, and I figured I might as well, just like Game 6. Why did I watch? This is even worse. This is an all-time classic loss.
Wow.
And then the next, he followed that up with, it was like watching your house burn down slowly. It was so horrible.
Slowly, yeah.
This goes up there with one of the greatest chokes of all time. I'm done.
Explains a lot about your reactions to things.
Now you see where I get it from.
Yeah, you are highly influenced by the negativity of your father.
1000%.
Yeah.
I just noticed somebody
Not negativity. It's just disappointment.
No,
Constant disappointment.
Yeah, but the negativity is he says, you now know why I am the way I am.
Because
a
he gets
lifetime
his
of
hope,
negativity.
he gets his hopes up, and they just crush him every time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Indians made the World Series a couple times.
Yeah, and they choked it away.
Yeah.
All 3 times
Yeah,
that I
that didn't help,
witnessed.
Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, the Browns are really good. The Browns are a great
Tony
team.
Fernandez couldn't catch a ground ball. I mean, it was
rough.
It was done.
Rajay Davis.
It was done. It was done.
Hey, but don't worry, Deshaun Watson's going to get you to the Super Bowl this year.
No, speaking of football,
What about
Cappy,
Ohio State? You guys have had
Yeah,
how
we do
many
have-
championships?
That's the
That's
only
true.
thing,
Ohio State
but-
has been really good.
That's right. But last year was
I
pretty
wish
bad.
UCLA could get a championship.
Yeah,
Just one.
last year was not. I mean, last year they were smacked around.
Does
Yeah, that
Cleveland
was
take
bad.
credit for Columbus?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Ryan Day's
I mean,
a hero
it's
to
Ohio
many people.
State.
Yeah.
It's Ohio State.
Plus,
I mean,
my whole family, with the exception of like me and my sisters, like all my uncles, they all went to Ohio State, so that's part of our upbringing, you know. But speaking of football, Cappy,
Pittsburgh's gone to Super Bowl.
You know
Is this
that's
part
the
of the
truth.
Lindsay segment? Or?
Yeah, we can get
Okay,
into
let
the
me play a
Lindsay
TV theme as we like to do. Because on this day, back in 1996, NBC's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air series, it came to an end. Will Smith, are you still mad at Will Smith?
Yeah, I'm still in a boycott.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I was
Let
gonna-
it go, Cappy.
Screw Will Smith,
don't
man.
talk the small stuff, Cap.
Yeah, don't sweat the small stuff.
Hey, listen, when Chris Rock calls me and tells me that he's over it, then I'll be over it.
You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks to Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal, no gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. We like to play. Let's play the radio Tinder bed. I know it's not the radio. Right there, Punchy. See, it says radio.
Right there.
You've
Says
literally
Radio
hit this
Tinder.
bed before.
Says it
There
right
you
there.
go. Take it away, producer Lindsay. See, it kind of sounds like radio Tinder.
Way to
but
go,
it's
Funch.
The Lindsay segment.
All right, so Cappy brought this up earlier. We like Pittsburgh. We like playing the Steelers song. We like the whole like. And Aaron
Steelers.
Rodgers over the weekend signed with the Steelers, and we have not yet brought it up. So I'm going to bring up a clip here of Michael Wilbon talking about Aaron Rodgers yesterday during, I think it was First Take.
I believe he was talking to Stephen A. I think.
Okay, here we go.
He's overstated. And by the way, I'm not talking about his career. No. Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer, a great quarterback for years. He's irrelevant now. What makes him relevant now? This network talking about him every day in, day out, as if they're hanging on and waiting for, Patrick Mahomes 3 years ago. He's irrelevant. At this point, he's not LeBron James. He's not Tom Brady. He's not playing that way into his 40s. This whole thing is overstated. I knew when I saw breaking news. What breaking news? The only breaking news about Aaron Rodgers now is that he's retired. That's the breaking news. They're a third-place team in their own division, unlikely to be able to pass Cincinnati or Baltimore this year. We're talking about now. We're not talking about what Aaron Rodgers has been. So all this breathless waiting on Aaron Rodgers, we're going to chronicle it every day. I'm blaming this network.
All right, so you get the point.
He's right.
I disagree.
What?
Yep.
Okay, tell us why,
dude.
Cappy.
Well, he may be washed, but here's the thing. The word irrelevant to me is where I vehemently disagree with Michael Wilbon.
Okay. Why is he relevant?
Because here's why. If he were a third-string quarterback somewhere, if he were somebody's backup quarterback somewhere, he's irrelevant. He's no longer a storyline. The fact of the matter is, Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who this past year decided to part ways with a coach who'd been there for 20 years, and they hired a local guy who's already coached with the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, and
Local
famously,
guy? Is he from there?
He's a local
Was he
guy.
born there?
Born there.
Okay.
And famously, Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy could not coexist in Green Bay, and now they're reunited at this late stage of Rodgers' career.
No, who
everything, but here's
Like,
my point.
seriously.
But here's my point. Everything I'm telling you, whether you care or you don't care,
I think he's made it clear he doesn't care.
I understand. But that's why he is relevant.
No.
Not irrelevant.
No.
So I disagree with Michael Wilbon. I don't know what it is. It feels it sounds
I know you
and
went to
feels-
school
with
the head coach, but come on, man.
No, but listen, the word
Now
irrelevant is what I'm caught up on.
You sound like Lindsay screaming about the Cavs in October.
I'm just telling you, the guy's a starting quarterback of a legendary organization where he's famously had a breakup with a coach. That's all relevant information.
But
You did
it's
say
his
that it would
third
never happen.
team now. Like, this isn't like he's playing. Like, it'd be different if he played for the Steelers. It'd be different if he was still in Green Bay and Mike McCarthy came back. Like, that I would tell you would be relevant. But like them on the Steelers, McCarthy's third team, his third team, who cares?
McCarthy looks
Football
like he's
fans?
eating. No, he looks like he's eating too many hoagies.
No, I don't even think football fans. First of all, if you had to rank him as a quarterback right now, how many quarterbacks would you take ahead of him?
Oh, probably many, probably 20-ish. I mean, listen, here's, and by the way, he's being paid as a guy who is not a frontline starting quarterback.
But he's not the last guy on the list, though.
And by
But
the way,
he's not-
Michael
but
Wilbon,
he's
one thing
not-
to remember, they won the division last year, the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, but that's...
Listen, I will grant you that Cleveland's terrible and that Cincinnati had Joe Burrow hurt and that Baltimore was going through Baltimore was going through a change. But again, Baltimore's got a new head coach this year. You never know if Burrow can actually stay healthy. Nobody knows what's going to happen with the quarterback situation in Cleveland. So there's relevance. That's the word I'm hung up on, relevance.
Yeah, I agree with Wilbon. He said he is irrelevant. I agree. He's irrelevant.
I disagree.
So wait, you're hung up on the word...
Well, you love him.
Well, I'm also really interested because I'm shocked that McCarthy
But you know
and
what
Rodgers
Wilbon
can
is
get
right.
back
He's
together.
not Tom Brady.
No,
in
he's
his
not Tom
40s.
Brady, and he's not LeBron either. LeBron is playing at a level that can still carry a team through a playoff series, as we just witnessed.
You know who's more relevant
Who's
than Aaron Rodgers at this stage?
Who that?
Dak Prescott is more relevant.
Well, yeah, but
he's always
Dak
relevant 'cause he's on
Prescott
the
is
Cowboys.
relevant. Yeah,
Correct.
He's relevant.
That's relevant. You know what I mean? Like,
devil. You know who else is
Exactly.
relevant?
Who's that?
Kirk Cousins. You know who's going to be covering Kirk Cousins this fall? JT the Brick got it in, Berkey.
Oh, wow.
It's 9:40, man.
I mean, Bergie, he got it. He did get it in, though.
But
I
that
mean,
wasn't even clever.
he
I don't
went-
even think that was even clever.
Yeah, but I wanted to go out with a bang.
Yes, yesterday was clever. This one, not so much.
Aaron Rodgers is much more relevant than Kirk Cousins because
Why?
Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is going to start for the Raiders.
He might.
And the
but
Raiders
there's
are a bigger
question mark.
story than the Steelers.
Oh, there's no doubt the Raiders are a bigger
Okay.
story. But that's us here. You know, that doesn't mean that in the Eastern Seaboard, where, you know, you're in Baltimore or you're in Philadelphia or you're in New York, that
You think
this isn't more
Baltimore and
relevant.
Philadelphia cares about the Steelers? Steeler fans
they do.
care.
They do. Yeah,
I care about the seaboard portion of it.
You like the seaboard? See, I don't know where it came from. I just broke it out. I don't even think I've ever said seaboard.
Who would you guys rather have?
What does Eastern
I
Seaboard
don't know.
actually
I think I
mean?
just made it up. I don't know. Is that
No,
really
it's
a
a
thing?
real thing.
I don't know if it's
I'm
a
gonna
thing or
Google
not.
it.
By the way, when I'm in Cleveland this summer and I need to go to Milwaukee from Cleveland, can I go to Pittsburgh for a sandwich first?
Yeah, well,
and
what
get
are you gonna get?
Permanente?
You gonna get
Permanente
Permanentes?
Bro-
Yeah.
I've never had Permanente
Oh,
Brothers. That's all I want.
The
not the
Eastern
only one.
Seaboard is literally just a fancy way to say the East Coast.
Yeah, right. Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
Right, I don't even know what it means. Can anybody look it up? A seaboard.
He just
It's
said
a
it.
Seaboard.
I know. I don't know what it means.
Region of the
border-
Eastern
like the border
United
of the sea?
States, fronting the Atlantic Ocean and extending from Maine to North Florida.
Right. You see, in the Eastern Seaboard,
Why
in
not South
particular,
Florida?
What is your ring?
It's,
Why-
it's
why-
Gotta
really
feed the
Why is
cats.
your
a lot
ring
of
turned up?
relevance.
Because
gotta
I'm not
feed the cats.
I'm not here at this time in the morning.
So what is that? Is that
Yes,
an
you are
alarm
today.
or a
It's like
ring?
one of my alarms to get up.
Well, why didn't you turn them off?
This freaking guy
because I
sets an
know, I'm
alarm to
sorry.
wake
No,
up
no,
at
wait.
9:40 in the
I know,
morning.
amazing.
Unbelievable.
Gotta feed the cat.
Well, no, he's busy watching reality TV all
Well,
night.
yeah, we have
rather
to
than
get
watching
into that.
sports.
Are you guys going to give him his medicine for that?
Yeah, we got to get into this.
Thank you, Lindsay, for the
But
Lindsay
wait,
segment.
we finished the Lindsay segment. Are we done?
I think. Are we good? Or we got one more?
Well, why don't you put the Funchy situation into the Lindsay segment?
Okay, Funchy, what's going on? You watched the game last night?
No.
Funch, explain why you didn't watch the
All
game
right,
last
listen,
night.
No, wait. So, Funchy is in the ball knowers chat. Funchy,
Which he
I think
shouldn't
we're going
be.
to have to take you out
You
of the
should
ball
be
knowers
excommunicated.
chat. Cappy thinks you
Knowers.
should be excommunicated.
Right, you should be sent to the Eastern Seaboard.
Why?
Yeah. Because you don't watch ball.
I'm sorry. I had stuff to do.
No.
Usually
no.
my
You
thing
watch
with game
90 Day
ones,
Fiancé's
with game ones,
reunion.
I can afford to miss game ones.
Okay, yeah,
No, not when they're epic game ones. They're both historical.
Well, I didn't know. Did anyone know that game
don't
one
you have
on
your
Monday
phone?
was going to be epic?
Don't you have
That's
your
why
phone
you
next
watch
to
it.
you, and
But
then
that-
you
right,
see
thank you,
score
Bergen.
updates?
Well, sorry, man.
Funchy,
90 Day Fiance.
Funchy, pot yourself down just a
90
little
Day
bit.
Fiance is. I don't know where this show is. I don't know what platform
okay,
it's on.
Fu-
It's on
okay,
what?
Funchy, you couldn't have recorded 90 Day Fiance?
Listen,
and
can I
watch
just
the
tell
live
you guys
sports?
a story? Okay, so on Mondays, 90 Day Fiance comes on at 8 o'clock. On Western.
All right, now pot yourself
West
up just a little bit more.
On the Western Seaboard.
On the
yes.
Western Seaboard.
Yeah.
Yes.
What network platform?
It
what
comes
have
on
you?
TLC.
TLC.
Okay, so for some reason, I thought maybe it could come on earlier because it comes on earlier on the East Coast, the Eastern Seaboard.
Eastern Seaboard, right?
Yes, it comes on at 5 o'clock there.
Okay.
So I turn on their app and I see that they have the new episode on, and I got excited. I'm sorry. It was around 6 o'clock, and my wife made me a wonderful dinner, and we ate, we started watching 90 Day Fiance. Then I see my phone. It's like 50 messages on his ball knowers thread.
Ball
Hey,
knowers.
it's like
Ball
the dopest
knowers.
game ever, the epic game ever, 2 overtime games. Wimby is the greatest player of all time. I'm sorry. Okay?
What is your main role here at ESPN LA?
I'm a producer.
But
Lakers.
what do you produce?
Lakers.
What show do you produce in the offseason?
Lakers talk.
Oh, okay.
So you don't think watching like basketball games are like an important
I'm
function
sorry.
of what
It was
you do?
a game one, and
No,
90
but-
Day Fiance was on.
Okay, so look, I'm happy to give you just an ounce of a break on 90 Day Fiance, even though I don't know what it is. I don't
Yeah.
know the concept. I don't watch any other shows. People
If
say
you
to
knew
me all
the
the time,
concept, you'd be hooked.
but people say to me all the time, "Hey, you watch this series?" I go, I watch anything.
You actually would be hooked at this.
But all I do is watch games.
It's two people that meet and then they become fiancés.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
understand.
wait,
In
can I
90 days.
Is 90 Day Fiance on an app? Like,
Yeah.
So it's an app. So
no,
you
I
can
think
watch
it's on a network, isn't it?
It's on a
No, it's
network
on
and an
TLC.
app. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a TLC, like it's an app on your smartphone, on your smart TV.
I mean, yeah,
like
my
you,
TV.
you can go watch it at
Yeah,
any
and
point in
and
time.
that's
Anytime.
what
It's on
happened on
demand.
Monday. And that's
Yeah.
what happened on
You can
Monday.
watch it at any point in time.
Yes, I could.
Okay, but yet you
Okay.
choose to watch it rather than watch the game. Now,
Well, it's like-
okay, but it's game one. I'll grant you it's game one. Now, here's the thing: knowing that you missed game one of this incredible, this double overtime instant classic between San Antonio and Oklahoma City, don't you think that like the next day you're catching a lot of strays on this? You'd be like, hey, you know what? I'll watch this Knicks Cavs game because I don't want to hear about it from everybody. But instead, you're at Costco last night buying paper towels. And by the way, I asked you to just pick me up a roll of
I'm
toilet
sorry,
paper.
man.
You wouldn't
I'm
even
su-
do that
I
for
was
me.
already out
and
the
then,
building.
And then you show a picture of your chicken bake from last night.
delicious, isn't it?
Which, by the way, I would need a road bake because there's no way I could get home with a chicken bake. I got to have one on the road as well.
By the way, they got chicken tenders now. You try those?
I saw that. It
Yeah.
wasn't there yet. No.
So you've missed game one of the Western Conference Finals for the 90 Day Fiance. You missed game one of the Eastern Conference Finals because of a chicken bake and paper towels.
Well, yesterday, I have an excuse for that yesterday. We were going to go to Costco in, the weekend or whatever, but this weekend is a holiday weekend. You've ever been to a Costco on a holiday weekend?
Oh, it's brutal.
It's crazy.
You either have to go first in the day or last in the day.
Yeah, so we decided to go tonight or last night because we had stuff to do Wednesday night, Thursday night.
And why
whatever.
didn't you tell your lovely wife, listen, and I say lovely because I've met her. She's a lovely woman. Hey, listen, I got to watch this. It's part of my job. Do you think she would hit you with a pipe? Because
No,
I know she runs the house.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wears the pants.
Hey, in Funch's defense, nobody cares, right?
Nobody cares unless your job is to produce basketball.
Why?
And also, like,
to my defense, I got home with 2 minutes left in overtime, and I watched it.
Oh, so you watched the right part.
You got to the right part
You're
of the
good
game.
now.
You caught
You're
the
all
book-
good.
the
You
good
missed the
parts.
comeback.
So were
Yeah.
you worried about being on Twitter if they would spoil 90 Day Fiance so you couldn't watch it a little bit later?
I don't go on Twitter. No.
Okay, so you're not worried about
I'm
being
not worried about
spoiled.
Well, I'm not. I try to stay away from social media. Whenever I want to watch the 90 Day Fiance.
Well, but Cappy thinks you should be excommunicated from the
Why,
ball knowers
man?
chat.
Well, because you're not a ball knower.
You're really not
I
a ball
am.
knower.
You're not- wait, listen,
now
look
let
at
me give
my
you
jersey today.
If it was called
No,
the
you're
ball
a ball
watcher,
knower. You're a ball dresser. That's what you
Oh,
are.
get out of here!
Can I ask you another question?
You're
Not a
you're
ball
like a
knower.
ball fashionista. That's what you are. You have good shoes, good jerseys, good T-shirts.
Am I like the Kyle Kuzma of the station or something?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's watching 90 Day Fiance too.
Now, I got to
Probably
ask
is,
you
yeah.
something. You knew that you were going to come in here to the morning show. You know that George is part of the ESPN NBA coverage. You know that – did you know what happened with the Dodgers-Padres last night?
I did a little bit, but I had to go to sleep really early.
Sounds like no.
Yeah.
Right.
That game ended about.
I woke up an hour
9:20,
early so I could watch the Dodgers-Padres game.
Now, just wondering, on Friday I won't be here and Cappy won't be here, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, thank God." But Sedano and Trudell are doing the show. It's going to be a lot of ball knower stuff.
Ball knowers extreme.
So, do you think? And you're in this chair, and you're going to be on the air too. Do you think that you'll be prepared for?
Don't do it.
I think I will be prepared.
No, don't do it, man. Just say to the guys, "Hey, listen, fellas, there's a lot going on back here. There's no
Funchy,
Morales.
here's what I'll say.
I don't want to talk about it. There's
Funchy,
no
here's what I'll say.
I don't want to talk about it.
To Cappy's point, Friday will be the day we determine if you are excommunicated or not.
Yeah.
So that your level of preparation will determine Cappy's willingness to deliberate on excommunication.
Will you be here tomorrow, Funchy, as well?
I won't. I don't think I'll be here.
Okay.
No, Kasim's here tomorrow.
Okay, do you think that you might consider this afternoon, early evening, you might consider watching Game 2?
Yeah, I think I will be.
You will.
Yeah.
Well, but just so you're aware, the Survivor finale is tonight. So if you want,
I
if you
don't
want to watch it,
Survivor, but that's something I really want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of seasons, Funch.
Yeah, you got
Like
about
30.
50 of them.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
it's 50.
50.
No, this
Okay.
is season 50.
God, I just wish I had enough bandwidth to take in a series. Me, I'm watching freaking games every night. 5 o'clock, I'm
really
locking
does.
in.
He does.
I mean, I got to watch every game.
Good.
You need a good reality
That's what
show
you
in your
should
life.
be
You know, that's what you should do.
You need a good reality show in your life.
You know,
You know,
speaking
you're
of
right.
You know what? He lives it every day on this show.
That's true, too.
speaking
By
of
the way,
long series,
that's the one thing we've done, Cappy. We've turned you into a guy who watches games.
I mean,
every
it's
night.
nonstop.
you're a ball knower
It's
now.
nonstop. It's like tonight, like I'll get home, right? And Rachel will be like, all right, look, we're planning on going. We have a trip coming up this weekend. Let's get together. Let's plan some things, whatever. And I'll be like, well, I got to really watch this San Antonio, Oklahoma City game. She's like, wait, this is not a Laker game. No, it's the San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder. She's like, we're going to watch that. Now, I will say this. In her defense, the good news for her is she'll say this, but I want to watch the Padres-Dodgers. So I will get a chance to watch both games because she's engaged in the Padres-Dodgers.
She's not watching Housewives or anything?
Nothing. We don't watch
Really?
anything.
So it's about at the same time. The game's at 5:30, and then the Dodger game's at 5:40.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch phone and TV,
Yes,
or which one goes on which?
I will say baseball game goes on phone because it's not as important as the basketball game. Basketball game's game 2 of the conference final.
Shohei pitching against the Dodgers.
But I can watch that on my phone. I can watch that. And by the way, it could reverse because if we're at her house, I got news for you. If we're at her house, Padres Dodgers TV, basketball
Now, are you
game
aware
phone.
that we're off Monday?
I am aware because I'm traveling back on Monday. So that's good news.
So, not to say that you don't need to watch these things. You need to know what happened. But Tuesday, we'll have a whole new set of stuff.
Right. Like I could shut down Friday, Saturday, Sunday and be like, you know what? I got to
And then you could just rewatch recaps and read stories.
Yeah. Like the MLB app, by the way, is amazing when
It's
it
good
comes
when you
to
get the
recapping
alerts.
games.
Yeah, and you get the alerts too, like you know when you need to click on something because something happened.
They have an Instagram stories sort of a function on the MLB app where like if you wanted to
NBA
watch the
does,
game,
too.
yeah, if you wanted to watch the game, click, it'll show you every single play that you need to know about the game.
Yeah.
But in last night's case, as Chris will tell you, George, I live at the East Central Hotel.
I got to be honest. So the way that he knew that I was coming over and what we were going to do, what our caper was going to be last night, because I had like 4 hours of calls and meetings yesterday evening that really drained me. And I told him.
I felt like I talked you off the ledge for a little bit yesterday.
For a little bit, and then guess what? The ledge got much worse. But at some point, we were going to like walk to Whole Foods at 5 p.m. And at 5 o'clock, I told him, not a chance I'm leaving here before 8:30, which became like more like, I think it was 8:30 or whatever it was. So I said, hey, orders in. I'm walking over to East Central. He's like, oh, I'm already at Nixo. He had this set up with the TV. And then he goes to me. He goes, I got Dodgers-Padres on. What a game. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't really been paying attention. I've been on all these calls and stuff. He goes, I go, where'd you get that remote? He goes, oh, I just go behind the bar and get it now on my own. He literally just goes behind there. He's getting napkins. He's getting remotes. He's literally at home.
Yeah, well
He's just grabbing remotes.
Well, here's the thing.
Is a
Chris and I-
bartender back there?
No. So Chris and I are together last night in the Nixo Lounge in the East Central, and and in the early parts of the week, they don't really keep the Nixo Lounge open now. Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they want to have people. But so it's just the two of us. Now the TVs are all on, but the volume's not on. So because I live in the East Central, this is my home. Okay, I'm like, I know where the remote is. It's behind the bar. I know where the napkins are. They're behind the bar. Now, I also know that there are cameras all over the place, so they're going to see me do this. And if anybody like Robert Montez, the general manager, goes, what are you doing behind the bar? I'll be like, bro, I live here. So I put the remote back where it belongs. I got some napkins. When we were done with the mess that we made, Chris and I cleaned up outside at the Knicks Lounge, and then I had to get rid of the evidence. So I took the stuff and I went behind the bar and I threw it in the garbage. He's like, "What are you doing back there?" I'm like, "What? You need a soda water or something? I can mix it up for you." But I live there, so I have to live like I'm at home in the East Central, and it's like living in a really big house too, by the way, and really cool lighting in the Knicks Lounge, and all the action on the streets down below. So yeah, I live there, man. So I make myself at home. And Chris was very impressed, weren't you?
I was.
The Minions are loving that story, Cappy.
Well, if the Minions ever want to come watch a game, hey, hit me up. Because me and Chris were like, we need some friends around here. It's just the two of us in this beautiful lounge.
Well, just don't give them your phone number like you did.
I'm actually contemplating getting a new phone with a new phone number.
No, what you need to do, what you should have done was just like you create like a burner phone for like the listeners. That's what you should have done.
Yeah, I should have done that. But now my real phone is my burner phone, and I need a new phone with like all my peeps.
All right, time for today's Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Directly from the book, we read this calendar every day. For Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. Be aware of the snowball effect of your thinking. Well, this is true. The more absorbed you get in the details of whatever is upsetting you, which is a lot these days, the worse you feel. That's also true. Or you might eat 2 large pizzas with your best friend. Cappy, I just called you my best friend.
I appreciate that.
One thought leads to another and yet another until at some point you become incredibly agitated. That all adds up, actually.
Oh, it happened yesterday for you, big fella.
I can't wait to be on that airplane in about, boarding is at 12:30. No, boarding's at 1:30 for a 2:30 flight.
I always know that feeling like when you can't wait to get to a plane because you're like, when you finally get locked in, you're like, now I can breathe. I'm going to fall asleep and I'm done for a couple of days. I know that feeling. I like that feeling.
Oh, it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. All right, now, Funchy, hit that dealer's choice music right there. It is time for the Dealer's Choice Real Deal with Cappy. Brought to you by our friends at Sellers Advantage. Want to sell your house before you call an agent? Call Sellers Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer, no repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer or visit sellersadvantage.com. Providence Realty, DRE 0191-5212.
Give just a small piece of travel advice. I mean, I'm not Brian Windhorst. I can't tell you how to, get into certain lounges in the airport and stuff. But, I was mentioning that I was in New Orleans this past weekend for my daughter's collegiate graduation. I was on the Eastern Seaboard, actually the Southeastern Seaboard, George. And
it's called the Gulf.
Yeah, that too. And and one of the things I did when I was in New Orleans that I just want to pass along to everybody, because I think that if you make it to New Orleans at any time, you got to do this. Now, I've been to New Orleans in the last, 25 years. I've probably been there 20 times. Super Bowls, Sugar Bowls, NFL games that I covered, tons of NFL games. I don't know why, but the Saints seem to always be on Sunday Night Football when I was working for Westwood One. Yes, George, visit my daughter while she was in school. So I've been to New Orleans a lot. Do you know what the number one attraction is in the city of New Orleans? Any idea, George? Yes.
The number one, local attraction?
Yeah, like it's advertised everywhere, and it is literally called the number one thing to see in all of New Orleans is blank.
Bourbon Street?
Great guess, right? I mean, obviously, you would think everybody needs to go to Bourbon Street.
Or one of those, haunted houses.
Okay, something voodoo-y, right? Right. The number one attraction in the city of New Orleans is the World War II Museum.
Oh.
And you may ask yourself, well, why the heck would, the World War II Museum, massive, massive museum, a campus, not a building, a literal campus. Why would New Orleans be the home of the World War II Museum? And the answer is that during World War II, the boats that were built out of wood, by the way, that stormed the beaches in Normandy, those boats were actually built and created by a guy in New Orleans. And back then, they said, the guy who was most responsible for helping the U.S. win World War II was this guy because he created this boat that transported equipment and men onto the shores in Europe.
Right.
So I actually got a private tour, which I was very lucky. Ooh. I had a friend who's on the board, and they set me up, and I had a private tour. Right.
Well, this one was a lady, right?
And I had a guy first in the first part of the day, and then a lady on the latter part of the day. Yeah. And here's the amazing thing about World War II. If you're a historian, I'm not, so I learned a lot. At that time in the United States, do you guys realize that our army, our military, was minute in World War II? Minute. Japan, millions of soldiers. Russia, Soviet Union back at the time, millions of soldiers. Germany, literally, millions of soldiers. But the U.S., tiny, tiny little military, because we were coming out of World War I, and we didn't really have the bandwidth, or in fact, they called it isolationism, where the continental United States was like, we don't want anything to do with anybody else around the world. Leave us out of it. We're all about us. Until what happened December 7th, which was, obviously the attack on Pearl Harbor. That moment changed everything and brought the United States into World War II. But what happened is the entire country, the men were saying, I'm going to fight in this war. They didn't have to draft anybody. People were volunteering. There were lines. People were volunteering to go fight. And
Both of my grandpas did.
So this is why I'm telling you this. So my grandfather fought in World War II, and I was too young to remember some of the stories that he told me, but he died when I was 16 years old. They have a research department at the World War II Museum, and if you give them your grandfather's name and any information you might have, they'll go do research. However, here's the really weird part. In 1973, in St. Louis, Missouri, there was a massive fire, and most of the Army's records and the Air Force's records were destroyed in the fire. There was no cloud at the time. There were no computers at the time. So sometimes they can't find your grandfather and what he did. But I have my grandfather's papers. I know where he was. I know what year he was in. I know what year he was out. And I sent all this information to the World War II Museum, and now they're researching where my grandfather was, what battles he may have been in, etc. And then they package it up and they publish it for you in a book, and they send it to you if they're able to actually do that.
Oh, you got to give me the info on that. I want to do that.
So if ever you get a chance to go to New Orleans, Bourbon Street is obviously something you got to do. You got to go to Pat O'Brien's. You got to have a hurricane. You know all of that. You must visit the World War II Museum. And I took all 4 of my kids, and I was worried that they would get bored. We were 5 hours in, and they were like, are we done? And I'm like, depends on what you guys want to do, because there were 5 other hours ahead of us. It was incredible, and that's my suggestion. You make it to New Orleans, hit the World War II Museum.
I have one quick question. By the way, I give you a hard time on a lot of things, but I am a World War II buff. I'm very, just whatever, my entire life. That was awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
Wait, side note, Tom Hanks is coming out with a
World War II
20-hour World War II documentary.
And there's a 40-minute film that I saw before the tour even started, and he narrates the entire thing. And it literally starts from the day that the United States gets into the war, because you've got Japan on one side of the U.S., the western seaboard, and you've got Germany on the eastern seaboard, and we're being attacked essentially from both sides.
Can I tell you guys something that will blow your mind? My father was in World War II.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Had
Really?
an old father,
Really?
yes.
How old is he?
If he was living today, he'd be 100.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible, Bunch.
What would he think that he didn't watch the game?
You think I'm a wuss?
Especially for a 90-day fiance.
Yeah, what a disappointment you are.
Everybody have a great windy Wednesday. We'll return tomorrow at 7 a.m. for Thursday. We'll talk about Game 2. Spurs Thunder. I'll be live from ESPN Chicago.
Also, Dodgers-Padres Game 3.
And Dodgers-Padres Game 3.
The rubber match.
Shohei Ohtani will hit and pitch.
Oh.
Shohei Ohtani.
We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Sedano will be in OKC. I'll be in Chicago. Cappy will be in South. And Kasim, that brother Kasim, will be here with producer Lindsay. Yeah. And Gregory Arthur Bergman. Have a great day, everybody.
Guest today, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you